Well, we are back here as Alex Cobb takes his warm-up pitches to Robinson Chirinos, who was making his major league debut behind the plate. For Jose Lobaton came up and got hurt last night, so now Chirinos, who is at Durham, will be up here, and he will be making his major league debut and catching Alex Cobb. So here we go. And as the captain, Derek Jeter, steps up to the plate, stepping up to the microphone is the voice of the New York Yankees. Here is John Sterling.
Well, Susan, I thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone. Now, the Yankees get their first look at Alex Cobb. And as I mentioned during the pregame, that normally does not bode well for the Yankees. Cobb, a right-hander, even numbers. And we'll give you those numbers as he's ready to deal to the captain, and the fastball's inside.
7-10.
And so the count 1-0. You may have heard that the game began at 7:10. And if you didn't hear it, you better get your hearing checked. It'll be a 1-0 to Jeter. And the pitch is inside, 2-0. The captain at 268, 3 homers, 25 RBIs. We're inside in the Dome. Tropicana located in St. Pete. And Jeter ahead on the count, 2-0. Give you Alex Cobb's numbers in a moment. Pitch. There's a strike at the knees. Fastball, curve, splitter from the 6'2" right-hander. Cobb is 2-0 and an ERA of 3.41. Trying to break into a very good staff. Wade Davis is on the DLs. He's taking his start. The 2-1 is grounded to third. And Longoria fields and throws one away. Cobb, 5 games and starts, 29 innings, 26 hits. 12 walks, 19 strikeouts, so really pretty good numbers. And he gets the first one in Jeter, and now here is Curtis Granderson.
We got him on a very good changeup. You heard John talk about what he does, and one of the Mark Topkin of the St. Petersburg Times said, think Jeremy Hellickson. Yankees have seen him, another young pitcher they have.
Well, here is Curtis, and the pitch is strike on the outside. Granderson had a big day yesterday. A double, a single, 3 RBIs, and he now leads the Yankees in ribbies, tied in homers. Here is the 0-1, and there's a change high. Granderson at 270, 25 homers, and 68 RBIs. Cobb deals, and it's bunted toward third. Cobb fields and throws wildly, knocked down by Kochman. That's a bunt single for Granderson. It wasn't a great bunt, but the fact that Longoria was playing off third and back, he had no chance to get it. So Granderson beats out the bunt single, and here's Teixeira.
And also, I think there was just a slight mix-up on who should get that, Cobb or Chirinos. They almost bumped into each other, and the speed of Granderson made Cobb throw that away.
So Grandy's at first. He's stolen 15 out of 22. Here is a fella with whom Granderson is tied in homers and neck in ribbies. Mark Teixeira's at 240, 25 homers and 66 RBIs. Tampa overshifts. And a throw to first, and Granderson is back. 3 infielders on the right side, and Longoria plays about 80% of the way toward second.
The noise you hear, they started a Let's Go Yankees cheer, and the Rays fans were booing them down, so it got very loud with real noise for a minute.
Hey, we don't want real noise.
No, you can't have real noise in here.
Teixeira takes a backdoor breaking ball outside, 1-0.
I almost jumped off this chair.
No, I didn't.
Did you?
I thought, wait a minute, Jeter's already batted, and A-Rod isn't here. What could they be yelling about? It's a 1-0 to Teixeira, and that fastball is high on the count, 2-0. That fastball clocked at 90. Those in the low 90s we hear. The outfield perfectly straight away for Teixeira, and the infield unbelievably overshifted toward the right side. That's how he hits ground balls and fly balls. There goes Granderson. Pitch taken. The throw by Chirinos is high. Granderson swipes second. Not only was the throw high, don't forget the Yankees are getting a look at Chirinos, who was the second catcher in Durham. The other one got injured last night, Lobaton. Anyway, he didn't throw the ball very hard toward second.
And don't forget, this is Chirinos' Major League debut, so they're going to run on him. I can see why this is going to happen. They're going to make him throw. you got to have some nerves here. Your first major league game, you're catching against the Yankees.
The 2-1 hit on the ground towards second from the outfield. They dropped the ball. Did Sean Rodriguez? Now you know how Teixeira runs. He had, even though he was about 5 steps out in the outfield grass, he had Teixeira dead to rights and dropped the ball. So Granderson goes to third. If that's not an error. So the E4 and the Yankees have first and third, 1 out. They can get a cheap run here. And here is Cano.
I got to say something about that. I watched that whole game last night, and I've watched the Rays a lot. And here comes Jim Hickey out on the run to talk to his young pitcher Alex Cobb. This team is supposed to be based on pitching and defense. Well, the pitching, I'll give you, their defense has not been good.
No. When it gets down to it, you have to have players. So Sean Rodriguez, who plays a little bit at second. Zobrist also plays second. They kind of platoon. Joyce is not able to play. He can pinch hit. Normally, Matt Joyce against a right-hander would play right field and Zobrist would play second. Anyway, Sean Rodriguez dropped the ball. Hickey went out to settle down his young pitcher. And here is Cano. And the Yankees, let's face it, are fortunate. A bunt single, a stolen base, and an error on a ground ball. The Yankees haven't hit the ball yet. And here is Cano. Robbie at .296, 15 homers, 58 RBIs. We have to take advantage of that. First and third, 1 out. And the pitch is grounded foul off first, off-speed breaking ball, and then the count 0-1.
And also, John, about tonight, about this Tampa Bay team, I don't know if it kicks in. Don't forget, they played till 2 o'clock in the morning this morning. 16 innings, lost 1-0. 1-0.
I was watching.
Yep.
I saw Pedroia's line drive single to right to score the only run. It'll be an 0-1. Ground ball to short. Should be 2. Feed second. There's 1. On to first. Safe. They took too long. And who took too long was the second baseman, Sean Rodriguez. So it is simply a 6-4 force at second. Give Cano an RBI, a ribby for Robbie, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
Well, Elliot Johnson had trouble also getting it out of his glove, and Rodriguez had to wait for it. So by the time he got the ball, the slide was coming in, and he had a hard time throwing it. And by the time he threw it, Cano got there. But that was on Johnson, I think.
Well, what a lucky run,
Whoa,
huh?
Gosh.
That's the softest run you've ever seen. Well, here is Nick's. Well, I won't say that, but it's one of the softest runs you'll ever see.
It's up there.
Is a bunt single, a stolen base, an error on a ground ball, and a double play that was not turned. Here is Swisher, and there's a strike. For Robbie, that's his 59th RBI. Now the Yankees get a 1-0 lead. Swisher, who's been hitting just great, hitting at .255 with 10 homers and 50 RBIs. It'll be an 0-1, and there's a strike. And by the way, Alex Cobb has looked great. He has given up nothing. 2 ground balls, 1 bunt, 3 ground balls.
Yeah.
Everything you want in a pitcher. Everything.
He should be sitting in the dugout watching his team hit.
Absolutely. That'll be an 0-2 to Swisher. And the Yanks are the 1-0 lead. Cano a short lead. Pitch is a breaking ball low, blocked by Chirinos. The catcher is Robinson Chirinos, and he just got here.
Now, I would guess he has probably caught him in Durham, wouldn't you think? He'd
yes.
been there.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
I'm sure he has. Chirinos, as I said, he came over in the Matt Garza deal he was a Cub, making Major League debut against the Yankees. Probably pretty excited.
Now Cano leads. Pitch is a bouncer, and there goes Cano to second. That's a wild pitch, and the reason is because Cano was not running. He only ran when the ball went in the dirt. He ran alertly. So now there's a runner at second with 2 out, and the count 2-2 on Swisher.
And that was about 58 feet. That one bounced well in front of the plate.
Well, base it would bring in a run. It'll be a 2-2 to Swisher. Don't forget the Yankees are just seeing Cobb. It may take a while for them to hit him. And the right-hander is set, and the 2-2. Breaking ball, strike 3, struck him out. So if you're wondering, Cobb looked great. His team didn't, but he did. For the Yankees, 1 run 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. And at the end of a half, the Yankees won. Tampa coming to bat on the Yanks radio network driven by Jeep.
Salino and Barnes reminds you this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Salino and Barnes, named by U.S. News and World Report as a first-tier best lawyers, best law firm for personal injury. Injured? Call Salino and Barnes at 800-621-2020. Offices in Manhattan and Long Island.
Now we go to the bottom of the first. A.J. Burnett has been given an unearned 1-0 lead. A.J. 8-7 and an ERA of 4.15. A.J.'s numbers are really pretty good. There's only a number that isn't so hot. A.J. 19 games and starts, 119 innings, just 97 hits. So 22 less hits than innings pitched. He's walked too many, 52. That's about 4 per 9. He has struck out 100. No, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. His first pitch to Johnny Damon is a fastball high, and the count 1-0. Switch to Roadrunner Broadband Turbo from Time Warner Cable and hit warp speed every time you go online. That pitch came in at 92 miles an hour. The 1-0 is high, and the count 2-0. Damon at 275, 9 homers, 41 RBIs. With a lot of holes in the lineup, what Joe Maddon's decided to do, put his best hitters up at the top. The 2-0. High 3-0. So Damon, Zobrist, Longoria are easily their 3 best hitters. Kochman is hitting a lot of base hits this year, doesn't drive into runs. He bats 4th. And the 3-0, there's a strike. And Upton, who doesn't get a lot of base hits, but hits with power, bats 5th. And after that, they just fill in as best they can, and Joyce is out with a balky knee. Here's a 3-1 to Damon, and it's high ball 4, so Damon walks. Oh, there's the tying run at first with no one out, and here's a switcher to Ben Zobrist.
And, of course, Burnett's last start, well, it was the day that Jeter got his 3,000 hit. So he hasn't pitched in over a week, so that's 9 days. So they're a little worried at the beginning that he might be a little too strong, and all those pitches were up.
Zobrist, a switch hitter with power, hitting at 266, 11 homers, 48 RBIs. Switch hitter batting left, Damon with a lead. The pitch missed outside, and the count 1-0. Damon still runs very well. He's still on 8 out of 12.
Because of that, Russell Martin looking into the dugout, see what they want to do about Damon over there.
And here's the 1-0. Line to right field. Charging his switcher. Has to play it on a hop. Damon has to hold at second. It's kind of a fly ball single. Kind of off the end of the bat near the line. And Tampa has a great start, first and second, and no one out.
And Russell Martin going out to talk to A.J. Everything's been up, and that was a fastball that was up, and that's going to get hit.
Well, the number that you don't like about Burnett, he's given up 17 home runs. Or 1 every 7 innings. You know, the walks are okay because he gives up so few hits. Anyway, he's in a jam immediately. Runners at first and second. Both guys can run. And here is Evan Longoria. And the pitch is lined to left center field in the alley. It's a base hit going all the way to the wall. Damon scores. Here comes Zobrist. He scores. It's a 2-run double for Longoria. And Tampa takes a 2-1 lead.
Up again, and he is getting, those were clobbered. Both those hits, the one by Zobrist, in particular the one by Longoria. Russell Martin setting up on the outside corner. That comes back right over the middle of the plate, about knee high, and Longoria should have hit that and did.
Now, not exactly the start you want of your Burnett. Walk, single, 2-run double, and the Yankees are behind 2-1. Here's left-hand hitting Casey Kochman. Burnett holds the set and deals a breaking ball strike. Longoria, who is having an awful year, injured early with an oblique, and now he's got some nerve problem in his foot. Now, he was only hitting .233, 11 homers, now 45 RBIs. That's not Longoria. He'll return to form next year, I'm sure. Now, here's the lefty hitting Kochman, and the 0-1, another breaking ball high. Kochman at .333, but first baseman, no power, 4 homers, 28 RBIs. Very good first baseman. And he would be a really valuable asset if they had more power. He shouldn't be hitting cleanup. But they just have no one else. It'll be a 1-1 to Kochman. And he steps out. And Kochman here can have a good at bat just by pulling a ground ball. He does that. Longoria goes to third. And Tampa could score another run on an out. AJ's 1-1. Swung on and base hit up the middle at second base bag. And Longoria has to hold, and the throw comes in. So first and third. A hot shot up the middle. It was a base hit right away, and you know what happened? It hit the bag and carried in the air and got to Grandison, so they held Longoria at third. Burnett's had. How can you have a worse beginning? So Tampa has first and third, no one out, and here's B.J. Upton.
I think that slowed it down hitting the bag. Went up in the air, so Grandison had a shot to come in more. But I don't know. Everyone was talking about how exhausted this team is. Paid till 2 o'clock in the morning. 16 innings. I don't know. They don't look tired to me.
You know, I've been to so many basketball teams in the winter before charters that took all days to fly from point A to point B. And you get to the arena like at 6, and the guys go out. They're loose as can be, unburdened by the time. Here is the pitch to Upton, a right-hand hitter, and he swings and misses. And they go out and play loose and play wild and win. I can't tell you how many times it's happened. I will bet you that Boston will have a big night. Now they're playing Baltimore. So in Tampa, they allowed the players to get here late. They had no hitting, and they're loose as a goose. And also Burnett's not locating his pitches. Upton, a right-hand hitter at .240 with power, 15 homers, 52 RBIs. And the right-hander deals caught on him. Now, I said to Joe Girardi on the Manager Show, it's amazing how often we start these shows talking about pitching. And the reason, whether the pitching is good or bad, it's so important. It usually controls the game. Well, tonight you would speak about it badly because Burnett hasn't been able to retire anyone. Runners lead first and third, 2 in, no one out. There'll be an 0-2 to Upton, and the pitch is grounded, weakly foul off third. So the count holds 0-2.
This game is brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealer, where you can check out the new 2011 Ford Edge, America's favorite crossover, and a great way to improve your road trips. Ford, drive one home today.
Longoria leads off third. Kochman, who is not a base runner, off first, and there's no one out. Now the 0-2 way high, overthrew the fastball. And the count 1-2. Burnett never has an easy game. Does he have great stuff? You bet. Never has an easy game. He doesn't get outs easily. Every batter is like a battle. That'll be a 1-2 to Upton. And the right-hander deals a check swing ground ball to first. Teixeira goes to second, back to first. Double play, and they held the runner at third. Teixeira is something. He is something. He got a ground ball. He probably just looked at third. Longoria had a hold. He threw to Jeter, got the return throw. The Yankees turn the double play and hold the runner at third, and that's fabulous.
And Evan Longoria is standing on third base with he put his hands on his helmet like, should I have gone? Now he's talking to third base coach Tommy Foley. Isn't that something?
He should have gone when Teixeira threw to second.
That's why he put his hands on his head like, oh, what have I done?
Here is right-handed hitting Sean Rodriguez. That is an unbelievable double play. A 3-6-3 double play, and the runner didn't leave third. The pitch to Rodriguez, a breaking ball outside, and the count 1-0. Well, that's crazy. That is crazy. Longoria was off third. Was looking at a replay. Teixeira threw to second. That's when Longoria should have gone. Jeter would have had a turn at second and throw all the way home. It'll be a 1-0 to Sean Rodriguez. There's a strike. Rodriguez at 221, 4 homers and 17 RBIs. And he's hitting 6th. If the Yankees get out of this, giving up 2 runs, they will have done the job beautifully. The pitch is grounded foul off third, and the count 1-2. So Tampa Bay gave him a run in the top half, and they really gave him a run here.
Yep. And you got to hope that whatever rustiness or whatever it is that A.J. Burnett has definitely had, everything up. And he's starting to a little better pitches now. Of course, you've gotten away from the really good hitters. Hope it doesn't continue.
So it'll be a 1-2 to Sean Rodriguez. He's a pitch away from getting out of really a major jam. Longoria leads off third, and the pitch, a fastball high on the count 2-2. Now Burnett will deal 2-2, and the pitch, a breaking ball in the dirt, blocked beautifully by Martin. And the count 3-2. And that catcher becomes so important when you have a pitcher like Burnett, who throws so many breaking balls in the dirt. And you got to either block him or you give up a run.
And Russell Martin, we've seen all year, really blocks things beautifully. That one hit the ground, the glove, and his chest protector. With Burnett, it's a 3-bounce guy. Ground, glove, chest protector.
So the count's gone full 3-2. And Burnett deals. Swung on. A Baltimore chop to the mound. Burnett fields. Throws to first. Low. Pass to Shera. And the run scores. And all the way to second goes Sean Rodriguez. Burnett, first base side of the mound, got the high Baltimore chop. If he had taken a moment to plant himself, he could have underhanded the ball, but he threw off balance, threw it low, and it bounced past Teixeira. So the Yankees gave him the run right back, and Tampa takes a 3-1 lead.
Well, he also should have left it alone, because by the time he got it, Robbie Cano was right there. He should have just gotten out of the way, but threw it on the run and threw it right by Teixeira. But when he catches the ball, you can see Robbie Cano coming into the screen. He probably had a much better chance.
No, Tampa takes a 3-1 lead. Here's Justin Ruggiano, a right-hand hitting outfielder. You know what Burnett did? When he captured it, he was running toward the area between first and second where the Baltimore chop took him. Now, if he had stopped, the runner wasn't halfway to first base. He literally could have underhanded the ball, or as Susan said, then let it go by. Cano's right there to throw to first. And so Burnett did the worst of all the things he could do. It's an E1 to score the run. And also the runner, Rodriguez, goes to second. He's in scoring position. The pitch to Ruggiano is hit on the ground to third. Nunez fields and throws to first to end the inning. Terrible inning for Burnett. Terrible. 3 runs on 3 hits. 1 vital error and 1 left. At the end of 1, Tampa 3, the Yankees 1 on the Yanks Radio Network, driven by Jeep.
880 AM.
John Sterling, Susan Wallman back at Tropicana. We go to the second inning. Tampa has a 3-1 lead. As the Yankees oppose the young right-hander Alex Cobb, it'll be Posada, Martin, and Gardner. They're 6, 7, and 8. Lefty, righty, lefty against the right-hander Cobb. And the pitch is high, 1-0. Georgie's at 226. 9 homers, 29 RBIs. For the most part, he only plays against righties, and he's hitting in the high 250s against righties. The 1-0, caught on a miss. And the count 1-1.
You know, he got off to such a bad start that those numbers don't sound very good, but since the 5th of June, he's been hitting .310.
Yeah, he's hit very well. The 1-1, caught on him. And the count 1-2.
As I heard before, Alex Cobb pitches off that fastball. That fastball came in, he just sneaked it by. About 91, he's got a very quick pitch. Quick delivery.
The 1-2 is bounced weakly to third. Longoria fields and throws in time, one away. Try Wendy's new Wild Berry Frosty Parfait today. Made with only the freshest berries, picked at the peak of the season. Or sip the new Wild Berry Frosty Shake for a limited time only. One away, here is Russell Martin. He's a .222, 10 homers and 37 RBIs. Well, you know, one thing we should have mentioned, the Longoria brain cramp, the pitch to Martin's a strike when he just stayed at third. It doesn't mean anything anymore because of Burnett's error. That run scored. So Tampa has a 3-1 lead. The 0-1, breaking ball low to Martin, and the count 1-1. 1 out, no one on, top of the second. Now, the right-hander deals. Cut on him. A good sinking fastball down and into Martin. And the count 1-2. You know, Susan, I wonder if Baltimore is going to take the field. It's different in baseball as opposed to the other sports. Here's the 1-2. Up high. They had a terrible series in Boston. Not only did Boston beat them 4 games in a row, but Boston threw at them and hit them, and there were fights and the suspensions. There is the 2-2. It's grounded foul. So, you know, you figure Baltimore will want to play with everything they have. That doesn't mean anything if you can't pitch.
Right.
You know, in the other sports, they're physical. I mean, baseball, how physical can you get?
Well, they're in the third inning. Baltimore's leading 2-1. And don't forget, it was that kid Kyle Weiland who broke Vladimir Guerrero's hand. Hit him on the hand in the Ortiz and Kevin Gregg fight.
The 2-2. A high pop. Behind the plate comes Chirinos looking for it, and he makes the catch. And there are 2 away. I just wondered if Baltimore, they got embarrassed by Boston up at Fenway. And I wonder if they're going to come and play as hard as they can. I'm sure they're going to play hard. And we'll see what happens in that series. Now, Baltimore has every reason to beat Boston, something they can't do. Here is Gardner at .286. 4 homers and 18 RBIs.
Well, as you always say, John, you have to have players. You can want it all you want. I'm sure they want to beat them.
Yeah, it is a little tougher. You know, the other sports you can play physically. Tough too in baseball. Pitches, though, you have to have, first of all, you have to start with pitching, which is what Baltimore does now. They have the poorest ERA in the American League. That'll be a 1-0 to Gardner. 2 outs, no one on. We're in the top of the second. Tampa has an early 3-1 lead. And the right-hander Cobb deals low inside. Count 2-0. Eduardo Nunez on deck. Gardner hitting 8th. And then Nooney, if Gardner reaches. Now the 2-0 is a breaking ball low inside. And the count 3-0.
Just saying who was pitching that game. That's Wakefield and Bergeson. They brought him back. Brad Bergeson pitching for Baltimore.
Now here's the 3-0 to Gardner. And there's a strike in the count 3-1. You can almost be guaranteed that if Gardner gets ball 4, that he'll run. First of all, he's got to get on base. So here is Cobb with the 3-1. And it's inside ball 4. So Gardner is on. Brett, who started off very poorly in stolen bases, very poorly. I mean, he was caught as many times as he was successful, but he's been on a streak of late, and he's stolen 26 out of 36, which is decent. It can be even better, and he's got to run. I mean, first of all, he gets to second base, a base hit by Nunez, and he scores. Yankees are down by 2. Also, if he gets the big lead, which he is, puts a little pressure on the pitcher. And that pitcher deals high, and the throw to first base is not in time. So the count 1-0 on Nunez, who's at .270, 3 homers and 16 RBIs.
And Gardner, as John said in the beginning of the year, was not stealing bases very well. And they think it's because he was more tentative. And he's much more aggressive now, which leads to better attempts. So
The 1-0. Swung on and line to center. Right there is Upton for the catch. Nunez hit it on the nose, right at Upton. No runs, no hits, one left. And now the end of an inning and a half. 3-1 Tampa Bay on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
Not bad, Mom. Hey.
We go to the bottom of the second inning. And Tampa has a 3-1 lead. Well, the season is shaping up. Hey, Yankee fans, go to BallyFitness.com and get your free 7-day pass and start achieving your fitness goals today. Now, here's the first major league at bat. Now, he played for San Diego. I don't know if he got up. But anyway, let's put it this way. It's his first Tampa bat. First at bat this year. Robinson Chirinos. He's a right-hand hitter. He's a switch hitter, but batting right-handed. And he hits a drive to right center. On the run is Grandison, way over his head. One hop off the right center field wall. And the throw comes into second. A double for Chirinos on the first pitch he sees. Now, one thing. I was told he was a switch hitter. But if he's a switch hitter, why would he bat right-handed against Burnett? So right now, let's call him a right-hand hitter. And he doubles on the first pitch that he sees. Now he's in scoring position. And here's the switch-hitting shortstop, Elliott Johnson.
And that was indeed his first major league at-bat. They got the ball. Quite a way to start.
Burnett deals, and the pitch is bunted out and bunted foul. And the count 0-1.
Scoreboard update sponsored by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. One game finished as a day-night doubleheader in Minnesota. Cleveland beat the Twins 5-2 in the first game. David Huff beat Anthony Swarzak. Second game starting in a while. Foster Carmona against Scott Diamond.
Chirinos leads off second. And the pitch to Johnson again. He bunts and again bunts it foul. This one back in the seats on the third base side of the screen. So the count 0-2.
They're in the top of the third in Baltimore. Baltimore came out, scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first. Boston has just tied it in the top of the third with a Jared Saltalamacchia homer and an RBI single by Dustin Pedroia. Tim Wakefield and Brad Bergeson going in that one. White Sox in Kansas City later. Mark Burley against Kyle Davies.
It'll be an 0-2 to Johnson, who swings and grounds it foul. Now the count remains 0-2.
And now it's 3-2. I didn't even get the score out of my mouth. And Boston's now taken a 3-2 lead over Baltimore. They are still batting in the top of the third. It's raining in Pittsburgh. Cincinnati and the Pirates playing. Dontrell Willis against Charlie Morton when and if they start.
The 0-2 is grounded weakly toward first. Elliott Johnson, who is a switch hitter. Brignac, the other shortstop, a left-hand hitter, neither hit. So every time they get a start, it's kind of like a chance. Well, Johnson couldn't bunt him over. Well, let's see if he can hit a ground ball to the right side, and that would get the runner over to third, where he could score on an out. Burnett will deal 0-2 to Elliott Johnson. And the right-hander deals swung on and fouled straight back. Johnson's at 209, 3 homers and 13 RBIs.
Florida and the Mets, it's a makeup game at Citi Field. No score. Bottom of the second, Clay Hensley against Chris Capuano. Washington's at Houston. Jason Marquis against Jordan Lyles. Phillies in Chicago to play the Cubs. Roy Halladay against Rodrigo Lopez.
There's the 0-2. Low outside, 1-2.
It'll be Derek Lowe against Jason Hamill as Atlanta's in Colorado. Milwaukee's in Arizona. Randy Wolf against Josh. I can't read that writing. What's his name?
I'm gonna look.
Okay.
But right after the 1-2, caught on a miss on a slow breaking ball. Usually Burnett throws these hard breaking balls. That was slow, and it did the trick. Oh, that's Josh Collamenter.
Josh Collamenter, and I'll never forget it again. Thank you, Collamenter. I don't know Josh Collamenter.
Yeah, he'd been up maybe a few weeks or so.
Dodgers at San Francisco, Chad Billingsley against Ryan Vogelsong.
Here's Johnny Damon, who walked and scored in the first. And Burnett deals strike. I didn't want to interrupt Susan's scoreboard. A couple of funnies came out of the extraordinary game last night. I mean, they were scoreless for 15 innings. Josh Beckett gave up an infield hit early. The only hit he gave up in 8 or 9 innings. That'll be an 0-1 to Damon. God, I'd have missed on that slider down and in. Anyway, here are two funnies. The venerable this is the wrong inning to do stuff, because between pitches they play their sound effects at a mind-numbing decibel. I'll finish what I'm going to say in a moment. This is the wrong half of the inning. And it'll be an 0-2 to Damon. Grounded foul off first. Anyway, the venerable Jason Varitek caught last night, and he caught the whole game. He's 40 years old. He caught 16 innings. He caught 1,000 pitches. And after the game, Francona said, "We'll probably have to carry him on the plane." And Varitek said, "I'm not playing tomorrow." Well, that's one. And the other one is pure Francona. Very funny. There'll be an 0-2 to Damon. And the pitch high. So Boston scores a run in the 16th, and so after the game, Francona said, "They can't hold us down for 16 innings." It was a beauty. That'll be a 1-2 to Johnny D. The rookie Chirinos leaves off second, and the pitch, a half swing and a breaking ball. Did he go? Did he go? I guess he did. Home plate umpire called him out. So there are two away. Last night, I can't think of the lefty hitter for Boston. Reddick, one of those guys. Took a swing that would have ended the inning. It wasn't called, and Joe Madden got tossed. You know, Boston, it was that kind of a game. It happens all the time. When it goes into extra innings, you sub thinking you're going to win, and then you're left with an undesirable lineup, and no one hits. Here's Ben Zobrist with 2 outs, and the pitch is low. Anyway, Boston, what would you bet on this? They had the bases loaded, no one out in the 11th inning. 3 walks, which is even worse. Bases loaded, no one out. They didn't score a run. Strike out, pop up to the catcher. Here's the 1-0. The pitch is low. Well, the guy with the pop up to the catcher was Marco Scutaro. So he popped it up. And Shopik was going behind the plate. And as he did, Scooter was so angry at himself, he took the bat and he fired it straight down. Well, it took a funny bounce, and it bounced right toward Shopik, who was underneath trying to catch the ball. So he caught it, and Dave Martinez went out to say, "Hey, why didn't you do something to Scutaro? Throw him out of the game." And there'll be a 2-0 to Zobrist, whatever he said. I don't know what he said. The 2-0, a breaking ball low, 3-0. And Martinez got thrown out of the game. So they lost both managers, the first manager and the bench coach. Bang, bang. Didn't affect the game, I guess.
No, they were discussing who would have been the next guy to be the manager, either Tom Foley, the third base coach, or Jim Hickey, the pitching coach.
The 3-0 is high, so Zobrist walks.
Martin going out to talk to A.J. Burnett.
Here's Longoria hit the 2-run double in the first inning. Well, first and second, and 2 men out.
All right, well, in Baltimore, both David Ortiz and Kevin Gregg have had their 4-game suspensions reduced to 3 games, and they're both sitting out starting tonight.
Now here's Longoria, right-hand hitter, ripped a 2-run double to left center his first time. 2 on, 2 out, and the pitch way outside a breaking ball. This is vintage Burnett. He throws so many pitches. Every batter is a struggle.
Well, this is also why he doesn't last long in games. You know.
The 1-0 is low on the count 2-0.
You know, he's already, look at his pitch count. He's already at 42 pitches. We're in the second inning. And this does not bode well for your bullpen.
Here's the 2-0, and it's fouled at home plate, just tipped. So the count 2-1. Chirinos leads off second, and Zobrist leads off first. And it'll be a 2-1 to Longoria. The pitch, a breaking ball way outside, the count 3-1. So Longoria, who had stepped out, now back in. And Burnett well knows he just can't throw the ball down the pipe to Longoria. And here's the 3-1. Inside ball 4. They're loaded up.
All right, Larry Rothschild going out to talk to Burnett. You know, maybe he sees something. This is tough to watch. I mean, he's thrown 45 pitches. We're in the second inning. I'll say that again. You can't have, you want your top starters to go deep into games. AJ doesn't do that. You know, and then he'll have these games, John, where he's absolutely brilliant, and you think, oh, he's turned it around, he's gotten it. And then one of these, I know he hasn't pitched in over a week, but...
The only thing I'll say about AJ is that he is very honest. He doesn't blame anyone but himself. And he will tell you, quote unquote, that's why I'm a 500 pitcher.
That's right. Yes.
Well, here's a big batter in the game. Yanks already trailing 3-1. Bases loaded, 2 out. And here's the left-hand hitting Kochman, who singled to center. He hit the ground ball that hit the second base bag his first time. Bases loaded, 2 out. Let's see if Burnett can throw strike 1. The pitch, a breaking ball, low, 1-0. And it kills managers and pitching coaches because there's nothing they can do. You're only allowed to go out there once an inning. There'll be a 1-0 from Burnett to Kochman. And there's a strike. Threw a fastball in the outside corner. Pretty good pitch. At 94, and the count 1-1. Burnett stepped off, so he's straddling the rubber, now back on. Kochman, a line drive type lefty hitter. They claim to hit to left center. Bases are loaded with 2 out. The 1-1 hit on the ground toward short. Diving stop, Jeter throws to second. Not in time. A run scores. Great play by Jeter, or it would have been a 2-run hit. So there's a single by Kochman in the shortstop hole. A run scores. That's Chirinos. Give Kochman an RBI, and Tampa takes a 4-1 lead.
And that really was a terrific play by Jeter, and a great throw just was safe. Going in the hole, diving, getting to his knees and throwing to Cano. Really bang, bang. Cano, I think, thought he got him. What a play by Jeter.
So bases loaded, 2 out, and here is B.J. Upton. And the pitch inside, almost hit him. Now the count 1-0. Zobrist at third, Longoria at second. Kochman at first. That was Kochman's 29th RBI. And Tampa's built up a 4-1 lead.
And Larry Rothschild's going to the phone, so someone's going to get up. This is, you know, John, you got to throw strikes to 230 hitters.
It's brutal. This is brutal. No question.
Hector Noesi has taken off his jersey.
Now here's the 1-0 to Upton. Swung on, hit in the air to left field. Gardner going toward the line, near the corner, makes the catch. about, I'd say 2 steps from the left field wall. And that ends the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, 3 left. And now at the end of 2 innings of play, 4-1 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
Fans come out to the stadium on Monday, July 25th, when the Yanks play the Mariners. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees batting helmet bank, courtesy of Seton Hall University's Strikeouts for Scholarships. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com.
Now we go to the top of the 3rd inning. And the Yankees are trailing 4-1. The Yankee run itself was a very, very soft, lucky run. Here's Derek Jeter to lead off. He grounded to third his first time. The rookie Alex Cobb, right-hander, deals, and Jeter pops it foul, first base side out of play. And the count 0-1. Now the right-hander deals, grounded up the middle, off the glove of Cobb. The throw is in time by Elliott Johnson, the shortstop. It deflected, but it deflected basically toward Johnson, who made the play. So if you're scoring it, call it 1-6-3. Jeter is out. 1-0, and here's Curtis Granderson.
1-6-3.
High fastball that he just deflected, as John said it perfectly, deflected it right to Johnson. That's the reason that Jeter was out.
Here's Granderson, who had a bunt single his first time and later scored the run. The pitch to Granderson to change high, 1-0.
Cobb, as we said, 23 years old, grew up in Vero Beach, Florida, ex-home of the Dodgers.
The 1-0 inside, the count 2-0.
6'1", 180. He was a quarterback on the Vero Beach high school team. They usually have pretty good arms. He looks bigger than 6'1", doesn't he, John? Looks like a big guy.
He does. I had heard he was 6'2", but that's about the same thing. Kind of rangy, good figure. That'll be a 2-0 to Granderson. And there is a strike. That fastball 91. If you locate it, which is an if, obviously, that's pretty good. Here's the 2-1. And that pitch inside, 3-1. Teixeira is on deck. Yankees, though, are trailing 4-1. Now they have the overshift on Granderson. 3 infielders on the right side. And the 3-1 swung on a pop foul, third base side out of play. I haven't seen that before, Granderson. But that's where their charts show that he hits ground balls. That's simple. So 3 infielders on the right side, and Longoria plays halfway between third and second on the left side. And the count has gone full. Here's the payoff. Grounded foul toward the Tampa Bay dugout on the first base side. The count holds 3-2.
And one more thing about Cobb, growing up in Vero Beach, I said the ex-home of the spring training complex of the Dodgers, and Alex was a bat boy when he was a little boy for 3 years. Man, it must have been a thrill, huh? Vero Beach. Bat boy for the Dodgers.
Here comes the payoff. Swung on and grounded to second. Rodriguez throws to first, and they're 2-away.
Really good sinker, and it looks like we were told he is a very confident young man and very intense. He bangs his glove after every good play. He's serious out there. He was in the Southern League last year. That's Double-A. So he went to his first spring training camp this year, and Joe Madden says that he was almost ready to make that team. They got a lot of good kid pitchers.
Mark Teixeira takes a pitch high, and the count 1-0. Baseball here in the top of the third, presented by the Con Edison Green Team. Save big on energy costs for your home and business at conedison.com. Teixeira fouls it back. And the count 1-1. Teixeira reached on an error his first time. That's how the Yankees score. Bunt single, stolen base, error by second baseman, pitch high. With first and third, one out. A ground ball, quote-unquote double play ball was hit, but Tampa didn't turn it fast enough, and so the run scored, and that's the Yankee run. The 2-1. Hit on the ground to short. Longoria fields and throws in time. So Teixeira finally hits a ground ball to the left side, and he hits it right at the only player who's playing on the left side. 1-2-3 go the Yanks at the end of 2.5. It's 4-1 Tampa Bay. Now the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
Chock full of nuts is that.
Ten-second station ID on the New York Yankees radio network. I don't think Lobaton, the guy who plays ahead of him, I don't think he's very young either. I think he's in his... Now, to me, it's young, but you know what I mean. He's not 21 or 22. I think Lobaton is up in the 20s as well. Here's the 1-2. Grounded foul at home plate.
Well, Lobaton had been part of the San Diego organization. He hadn't played in the major leagues for 2 years. So he was out there, and he wasn't. No, they didn't have a young catcher coming up. Thought it was going to be Chirinos, and he had a great spring training. Hit .429. He caught late innings against the Yankees a couple times. We saw him.
Here's the 1-2. Outside, the count 2-2. Now Burnett to the wind, and the pitch is low, 3-2. Now he goes full count on Chineros. Now here's Burnett's payoff. It's high, ball 4. So Chineros walks. He doesn't want to walk people. He just can't throw strikes. No, that's wrong. He can't throw enough strikes. So there's a runner at first, and here is the switch-hitting shortstop, Elliott Johnson, with 2 outs and a runner on.
Well, what we've seen so far with Chirinos is that he does have maybe because he's a catcher, but he does have a good idea of the strike zone.
The pitch to Johnson is low. He can't throw strike 1, for example. It's funny. These guys are, I mean, I'm not knocking Chineros because I've never even seen him play, but right now he's not a major league hitter. Either is Elliott Johnson. He's hitting a 209. And he just can't throw first pitch strikes. Always battling from behind. The 1-0. There's a strike at the knees in the count 1-1.
As a matter of fact, Elliott Johnson has the worst batting average of any shortstop in the major leagues.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guy who plays ahead of him has the worst batting average. Reed Brignac. I think Brignac.
Up to 208 or 209 by now?
I think. Let's see.
All right, that's what we were told.
Brignac's hitting 193.
Oh, okay. Yes, he is. That's what the Rays were saying.
The 1-1 is low. Now let me see how they platoon. Brignac has 181 at-bats. Johnson has 115.
Well, maybe they meant playing tonight.
But they have a lot of holes in the lineup, obviously. Well, it'll be a 2-1 to Elliott Johnson, who struck out his first time. And the 2-1 is low on the count 3-1. Now, one thing, he walked Chineros. He's 3-1 on Elliott Johnson, but then a real hitter comes up in Johnny Damon. So this is the last guy you'd want to walk here, and your team is down 4-1. Here's the 3-1. It's a ground ball to second. Cano fields and throws to first to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and now at the end of 3 innings of play, Tampa Bay 4, the Yankees 1 on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. go to the fourth. Yankees are trailing 4-1. It's not really surprising. Alex Cobb also might be a very good pitcher. First time I've ever seen him, but not surprising. Yankees normally struggle against pitchers that they haven't seen, and they haven't seen Cobb. It'll be Cobb facing Cano, Swisher, Posada, all lefty hitters, in the top of the fourth. But the Yankees are trailing 4-1, and the Yankee run was an unbelievably soft run, unearned as well. We have a little more time tonight between innings. This is an ESPN game. And, well, frankly, they hold the clock for national TV, whether it's ESPN or Fox or TBS or MLB. They pay the freight, so they're able to get their commercial positions in. Now here's Cano to lead it off against Cobb, who's had 3 very good innings. It was not his fault that the Yankees scored a run. Cano knocked in that run with a ground ball. Really should have been a double play, and the Yankees would not have scored. And Cobb deals, and there's a breaking ball strike, and the count 0-1.
This game is brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealer. When it comes to great cars and trucks and great value, no one beats your Tri-State Ford dealer. Ford, drive one home today.
Now the 0-1, and the fastball is high, and the count 1-1. That fastball at 92, so he has decent speed.
So he backed up that breaking pitch with a high fastball, trying to get Cano to go on that. That was not a strike. And to zip that in there.
There's the 1-1. There's a strike at the knees, and the count 1-2. Now, the right-hander to the wind. Pitch lays off a high fastball. Trying to go up the ladder, as they say, and the count 2-2 on Cano. In the infield, the shortstop Johnson shades him toward second. In the outfield, the center fielder Upton shades him the opposite way toward left center. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and grounded toward the first base hole. Grabbed by Sean Rodriguez. Throws to first. One away. Nice play by Sean Rodriguez going to the glove side. Now 1 down, and here's Swisher.
And that's what we mean about their defense. That's a terrific play by Rodriguez, turning and spinning and then throwing a bullet over to first base and Kochman.
Now 1 away. Here is Swisher, who struck out his first time. It's 4-1 Tampa. We're on the top of the fourth. 1 out and no one on. And the pitch. There's a strike. In the first inning, Granderson had a bunt single. And you know that's the only hit off Cobb. Just looked down at my scorecard, I realized it. That's the only hit. And there's the 0-1. Grounded to second. Rodriguez fields and throws, and there are 2 away.
Another breaking pitch, a really good curveball. And Swisher just got right on top of it. All you can do is ground it to second doing that.
Now 2 down. Here is Posada.
That game last night, that 1-0, 16-inning loss by Tampa, 5 hours and 44 minutes. It's a long time, but 1-0.
There's a strike to Posada on the inside corner. Georgie grounded to third his first time. Here's the 0-1. And the pitch inside of the count 1-1. Now the right-hander's 1-1, breaking ball low on the count 2-1. It really doesn't surprise me that the Yankees are struggling against Cobb. That happens so often with pitchers they haven't seen. Now they're really struggling because they only have a bunt single. Here's the 2-1. It's low on the count 3-1. Now the 3-1, and the fastball's outside, so there's a base runner with 2 outs. Second walk given up by Cobb. Russell Martin popped up to the catcher his first time. He's a right-hand hitter. 2 outs, a runner at first. Top of the 4th, Tampa with a 4-1 lead. And you get the feeling in this game the Yankees going to need a big hit to get back in the game. A 2-run double or 3-run home run, something like that. The pitch to Martin is grounded weakly foul off third. And the count 0-1.
I've often wondered that. We've talked about that now, John, for years, that this team just doesn't seem to hit pitchers that it hasn't seen before. I mean, other teams seem to hit pitchers they haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm. And, the Yankees are always thought of as a very good offensive team. That'll be an 0-1 to Martin. Swung on and line to center. Right there is Upton to make the catch. And end the inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. And now at the end of 3.5, 4-1 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Now to the bottom of the 4th inning. When the commercial break ends, the engineer will tell you when you're going on. It's so noisy in here. I actually didn't hear Carlos. He's sitting a couple of feet behind us. I actually had no idea that there was so much. They call it prefab noise, just noise that they fill up between innings to make it seem like there's a big crowd. Here's Johnny Damon to lead off the bottom of the 4th, and the pitch is outside, 1-0. Damon has walked and struck out. Burnett's been unable to throw a lot of strikes, and as a result trails 4-1 here in the bottom of the 4th, and pitch is inside, goes back to the screen, and that's his 72nd pitch.
Scoreboard update is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit them at geico.com.
Now Burnett will deal 2-0 to Damon. And there's a strike, and the count 2-1.
In the first of 2, Cleveland beat the Twins 5-2 this afternoon. Second game just underway. Fausto Carmona and Scott Diamond, no score there. Boston's leading Baltimore 6-4, bottom of the 5th.
And the pitch to Damon is high outside, and the count 3-1.
They're at Camden Yards. Jared Saltalamacchia and Josh Reddick have both homered for Boston. Tim Wakefield and Brad Bergeson going there. White Sox scored 1 on the top of the 1st. Kansas City to coming back in the bottom of the 1st.
The 3-1. There's a strike on the outside corner. Fastball. The count 3-2.
Mark Burley against Kyle Davies. Still raining in Pittsburgh if they play. The Reds and the Pirates. Dontrell Willis going for Cincinnati. Charlie Morton.
Here's the payoff pitch to Damon. Hit on the ground at first. Teixeira digs it out. Take it himself. 1 away.
Florida scored 3 runs in the top of the 4th in this makeup game against the Mets. So it's 3-0 Florida at Citi Field. Kay Hensley against Chris Capuano. Washington and Houston, no score, bottom of the 2nd at Minute Maid. Aramis Ramirez hit his 17th homer off of Roy Halladay, and Chicago leads the Phillies 1-0 as they go to the bottom of the 2nd at Wrigley. Rodrigo Lopez going for the Cubs. Atlanta and Colorado, Milwaukee at Arizona, and the Dodgers at San Francisco later.
Ben Zobrist swings and grounds one to the same fella, Teixeira, and he'll take it himself, and very quickly 2 away. The reason why Tampa Bay uses all this noise, they don't draw big enough crowds. They think, I don't agree with them, of course, but they think the noise will make people say, wow, it's noisy in here. Boy, are we having fun. That kind of thing. Evan Longoria with 2 outs has doubled and walked. The pitch is high. Tampa is last in the American League in attendance. They are averaging 19,006. They're battling it out with Oakland. Here's the 1-0. Cut on a missed. And in the National League, the team that's last is Florida. Now, but they're going into their own ballpark, downtown Miami, next year. They're averaging 17,000.
That's a hard place to go and watch a game. It's 100 degrees. It rains every day.
Pitch is low.
And that really is a dump.
So, well, actually, it's a great football stadium, Joe Robbie. It's not Joe Robbie anymore, whatever they're calling it. But anyway, they're going into their own ballpark in downtown Miami next year. We'll see if that makes a change. The 2-1 low. Susan, is that a retractable dome? It must be.
Yes. In the new one?
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a retractable dome.
So that's a big test. We'll see how they draw. Maybe if they draw well, it'll help Tampa get a ballpark. They need a ballpark here very much. There'll be a 3-1 to Longoria. With 2 outs, no one on, bottom of the 4th. Pitch. Cut on a missed in the count 3-2.
The problem with Tampa getting a ballpark is that they don't have a place to put it. Hillsborough County, which is Tampa, they don't want it there. It's no good here. You can't. This is not a place for a ball club.
Now here comes the payoff to Burnett, and the pitch is low.
There's just not enough people here in the St. Petersburg area, and because it's bridges and traffic, it's hard to get here from Tampa. They moved it. Here comes Larry Rothschild out to talk to A.J. Burnett.
That's the 5th walk off Burnett. 5 walks in 4 innings is not exactly what you want.
You know the thing that's bad about him, John? He's already at 83 pitches, so even if he just got it together right now and threw nothing but strikes and no one else got on base, he's out of the game in an inning.
Right now, there's no one up in the bullpen. So when Rothschild came out, he had something to say, and he is talking to A.J. and to Russell Martin. Longoria's had a perfect night, a double and 2 walks, a 2-run double, and 2 walks. And here's Kochman, and the pitch is high. He cannot throw strike 1. He just can't do it. No, the count 1-0. Now tonight, just unable to. Maybe he had too much time off. It could be. The 1-0 pitch outside 2-0 because he's been off since before the All-Star break. This is his first time out. So the count 2-0 on the lefty swinging Kochman, who is 2 for 2, 2 singles, 1 an infield single, knocked in a run. And the 2-0 swung on a high fly to shallow right. Cano out, Swisher in. Swisher near the line makes the catch to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left. And now the end of 4 innings of play. It's 4-1 Tampa Bay on the Yanks Radio Network, driven by Jeep.
Hey, Yankee fans.
Now to the top of the fifth inning. Yankees are trailing 4-1. And worse than that, I think, against this young pitcher, they've only had one hit, and that was a bunt single in 4 innings. Now, the Yankees actually were very fortunate to score the run. It was unearned, an error by Sean Rodriguez, and then they still could have gotten out of the inning if they turned a double play. They didn't do that. So the Yankees trail by 3 as we go to the fifth. Here is Brett Gardner to lead off. Gardner, Nunez, and Jeter, 8, 9, and 1. And the first thing the Yankees have to do is get another base hit. One little old bunt single. Gardner walked in his only plate appearance. And the right-hander Alex Cobb pitching a beauty. Deals. And there's a strike. And the count 0-1.
Take the Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv and see every Yankees game live or on demand on your computer and favorite devices. Visit Yankees.com to order MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere.
Gardner steps out. And the 0-1. There's a breaking ball low. Cobb threw 62 pitches in 4 innings, just about 15 pitches an inning. That's very good. He's doing just fine. Here is the 1-1. Low inside of the count, 2-1.
Well, Larry Rothschild had just gone to the phone when Burnett had got out of the inning, so safe for another inning is Burnett.
Well, the Yankees now know they can't afford to give up any more runs. They're already down by 3 midway through. It'll be a 2-1 to Gardner. And that breaking ball low, 3-1. Well, let's see if the Yankees can get Gardner on to start something here in the fifth. Here's the 3-1 up high. So Gardner walks. That's the third walk given up by Cobb, twice to Gardner, and here is Nunez. Oh. I do have something to report. My first exclusive. Jimmy Fiddler in Hollywood, of course. Swimming today, I ran into Eric Chavez, and he is going to start playing for the Tampa Yankee team. And he is very, very hopeful. He said, I'm fine. He is very hopeful of playing all this week, both at DH and in the field. There goes Gardner. Pitch is taken. The throw is late. Now, that was not a good throw by Chirinos, but you know what? It didn't matter. Gardner had a phenomenal jump. I mean, he was halfway to second when the pitch came to the plate. So there's a stolen base.
And Gardner has gotten much better at that. He's gotten so aggressive. It's when he sits and waits 2-3 pitches that he has gotten into trouble, and that was the 27th stolen base. 27
out of 37. The pitch to Nunez was a ball. So Gardner at second, and it'll be a 1-0 to Eduardo, and he runs the hands up to bunt. Anyway, as Chirinos goes out to talk to his pitcher, so Chavez is going to play this week, and I said to him at the end, I said, well, look, let's say everything goes great. When do you think he'll be back? He said, I think I'll be back Friday or maybe Monday.
Boy, would that be good.
Oh, my, well, what a need.
Oh.
So they could have Chavez back. And Susan, you hear anything about Soriano when he might come back?
Well, Soriano is pitching tomorrow, and they'll see how that goes. And I think maybe one more after that. If your arm is good and you can pitch there for an inning, well, why can't you pitch an inning up here? And there's no reason.
Yeah.
Well, you just hope that Soriano was better when he comes back than he was when he left.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, no question about it. Well, you know what you hope for? You hope he pitches like he did here last year.
Great.
Well, it'll be a 2-0 to Nunez. Tampa Bay just had a meeting. That's why Susan and I were chatting.
I have a question for you. Play manager now.
Yes. First of all, it'll be a 2-0 to Nooney. Gardner off second. Pitch. Swung on and chopped up the middle. Sean Rodriguez fields. Throws to first in time. Gardner goes to third. Now, in that spot, it's not a bad at bat because he moved the runner to third. You could score on an out. It's much better to be 2 down than 3 down. But when you're 3 down, you're looking for base hits. Well, here's Jeter. Yes.
I have a question for you. Say he comes back, what's today, Monday? Say he comes back Thursday. Where does he pitch?
Well, if you're asking me,
Yeah.
I would continue with Robertson as the 8th inning man and then fit him in. In other words, he's got to pitch well before he reclaims his 8th inning job. A runner at third, 1 out, middle of the infield back pitch is low. So a ground ball to short or second gets a run. Longoria is up. He obviously can come home from third. And Kochman can come home. He's playing wide at first. Jeter has hit 2 ground balls tonight. So if he's going to hit a ground ball, he's got to hit it in the middle of the infield to get the run in. Yankees are trailing 4-1 with a runner at third and 1 out. And the pitch inside. Count 2-0. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Keep Robertson in the 8th inning?
I don't move David Robertson till he proves he cannot do the job anymore.
And boy, that would take a lot of unproving.
Yes, it would.
So I agree with you. Be a 2-0 to Jeter. The Yankees in the 5th inning down by 3 have 1 hit, and that was a bunt single. Well, let's see if Jeter can get the run in. Gardner off third. Pitch. There's a strike on the count 2-1. Obviously, with Gardner's speed, almost anything brings in a run. But not a ground ball to third or first. Even Gardner can't score on that. Unless it's a trickler.
Middle's totally open. Jeter likes to go a lot. Wouldn't be a bad time for it.
The 2-1. Swung on and foul. First base side out of play on the count 2-2.
You know what I've seen so far out of Cobb, that he's not afraid out there. He pushed Jeter off the plate. He's pushed a couple of people off the plate. He knows what he's doing out there. Baltimore's just taken a 7-6 lead over the Red Sox in the 6th inning. Think they can hold it? 3 innings?
No. The pitch. He struck him out swinging, so they're a 2-way.
Got him with that split. Remember John was talking about to Joe Girardi about that splitter? Beauty.
Well, he needed the strikeout, and he got the strikeout. On 2-way, here's Gradison with the runner at third. Now it takes the 2-out hit or error to score the run. The breaking ball is low to Gradison, and the count 1-0. They were giving the Yankees the run. The Yankees couldn't take advantage of it. The 1-0 is low, the count 2-0. Gradison had the bunt single, scored the only Yankee run, and grounded to second. Gardner leads off third. Walk, stolen base, ground ball got him to third. Jeter struck out. So now it's up to Gradison, who's ahead on the count 2-0. The pitch. There's a strike. Tell you one thing about Cobb that I like. Anytime he has to throw a strike, he does.
And he can throw it with any of his pitches. He doesn't just throw that fastball for a strike when he needs it.
Oh, it was a breaking ball.
Yep.
Here's the 2-1. Swung on and pop foul behind the plate, out of play. Now the count 2-2.
The velocity of that fastball keeps going up. He started about 90, 91. Here we are in the 5th inning. That was just a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Now the right-hander is set, and the 2-2. Up high fastball, 3-2. Mark Teixeira is on deck. Gradison at home plate with a 3-2 count. Gardner leads off third with 2 down. And here's the payoff. A ground ball foul. He threw a breaking ball 3-2. And Gradison was way ahead and just got a piece to stay alive. So the count holds at 3-2. Now the right-hander at the belt. Here's the payoff. High ball 4. Well, one thing that does, as Gradison passes the baton to Teixeira, as Mark comes up, he's a tying run. And boy, Do the Yankees need the old long ball? There's Teixeira, who has reached on an error and grounded to third. That was the fourth walk off Cobb. Three infielders on the right side. And the pitch is high. You know, last time up, Teixeira hit a ground ball to third, but Longoria was playing midway at least between third and second. You never see Teixeira hit a ground ball there. Well, this time Longoria plays near third. They want Gardner off third, stealing home. Pitch. Grounded foul, pulled off first. And the odd thing is, if Teixeira hit the same ground ball this time, it would be a base hit and a run. There's no one playing shortstop. There's no one between Longoria and the second base bag. But that was like a freak that Teixeira actually hit a ground ball to their left side. But they'd love to see him do it again. There's no one there. Runners lead first and third, 2 out. Tampa has a 4-1 lead. We're in the top of the fifth. And Cobb fakes toward third, bluffs toward first. Nothing going on.
They just got a shot of the Yankee dugout, and Brandon Laird, who was called up this afternoon, or this morning actually, when Ramiro Pena had an emergency appendectomy, just got here. Had plane trouble. I guess there's a lot of that going around.
Granderson goes. The pitch is in on the ground towards second. Diving stop. Rodriguez throws to first. Not in time. It's a base hit. At an RBI, Gardner scores, and the Yankees trail 4-2. Teixeira hit a ground ball between where the shortstop and second baseman play on the right side. Rodriguez made the play out in the outfield, but didn't have enough steam on the throw. So give Teixeira a single and an RBI. The Yanks trail 4-2. Runners safe everywhere, and your financial future can be safe and secure with life insurance from New York Life. Contact your New York Life Insurance Company agent or visit us at NewYorkLife.com and find out more.
Rodriguez dove for the ball, spun around, got up, and he slung it almost sidearm and had no steam on it at all and actually bounced it to first base.
Here's Cano. Tying runs are on. Pitch low inside. So that's the Yankees' second hit. It really was just a ground ball, but it was in an open spot. So give Teixeira the infield single and an RBI, his 67th RBI. Granderson at second. Teixeira at first are the tying runs. Cano the go-ahead run. Pitch. There's a strike, and the count 1-1. Well, the Yankees didn't exactly blow the doors off, but they did get a run.
They all count, right? Isn't that what you always say?
They all count.
They all count.
4-2 Tampa, 2 on, 2 out in the fifth. And the 1-1 swung on and pop foul third base side. It's out of play. The count 1-2. You know, you were mentioning about Brandon Laird just got here. I can't think who the guy was, Susan. It was in the newspapers today. A guy came up and wanted. Anyway, he said what we all know. He said, I don't ever want to go back to AAA. I want to stay here. I don't care what it takes. I want to stay here. I hate AAA. Went on and on. I've heard that from so many players.
Oh, boy. No, that's how you see every time someone is sent down, the look on their face. Just such a difference.
Takes a long time to go down, and when you get the call up, boy, you get there as soon as you can. Here's the 1-2. Up high, and the count 2-2. I heard a player actually say to me, I'd carry the bags to stay up here. Granderson off second. Teixeira off first with 2 outs. It'll be a 2-2 to Cano, who's grounded out to knock in a run and grounded out. The pitch. Swung on a high fly ball down the left field line, and it's going to be in the crowd. One thing I will say about Cobb, the Yanks have had a couple of line drives that Upton has caught in front of him. They haven't hit anything long, and they have hit a lot of ground balls. So Cobb, if you get a guy that throws ground balls, as they say, the managers love it. You can't hit a ground ball out of the ballpark.
got great movement on that sinking fastball. He really moves the ball around. Just 23 years old.
Now the 2-2 to Cano. High outside fastball, and there was a light brownout in this building. Our monitor went off, and it looked, like you're home when there's a big storm and the lights flicker. Well, the lights flickered here.
This place is something, isn't it?
Yes, and I don't want to tell you what I mean by that. Now they're going to call time, and Alex Cobb, when he begins, will deal 3-2 to Cano with the tying runs on base, and Cano, of course, is the go-ahead run. So we're set to go as Cano digs into the batter's box. Nick Swisher is the on-deck hitter, and Cobb has to deal 3-2.
That's tough, isn't it? 3-2. You got one pitch.
Now runners lead off first and second. Those are the tying runs. Grant is in at second, Teixeira at first, and Cobb now has 1 foot on the rubber, and Robbie Cano digs in. We're in the top of the fifth. It's 4-2 Tampa Bay, and this will be a 3-2 pitch to Cano, and the pitch is swung on and grounded up the middle. Rodriguez fields and throws to first to end the inning.
The official time of the delay, 18 minutes, 1-8.
So the Yankees and Rays had an 18-minute delay for a light problem, and the Yankees wind up getting 1 run on 1 hit and 2 left. And now the end of 4.5 innings of play is 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Now to the bottom of the fifth, so Alex Cobb threw 1 pitch and got Robbie Cano at a very soft 1-hopper to second. Then the Yankees, if you look at it the right way, the correct way, are really very lucky. They're down 4-2 with 4 innings to go, and they basically don't have a hit. And Granderson had a bunt single in the first, and Teixeira had that ground ball, very soft ground ball, which went between where the shortstop would play on the right side and the second baseman. And that's it. So very fortunate to have 2 scratch hits. A.J. Burnett will deal to B.J. Upton to begin things in the bottom of the fifth. And the pitch is a strike. Being the 5th inning, it's a Daily News fifth. The sponsor. There'll be a payoff to B.J. Upton. And Burnett will deal 3-2. He struck him out swinging. A terrible hack late by Upton on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball down and away. That is strikeout number 4. 4 strikeouts, 5 walks. And on the other side, the Yankees, and we know, we've talked about this a lot, have an inability to hit pitches they haven't seen. And Alex Cobb is almost pitching a no-hitter against them.
Yeah, he certainly qualifies as a pitcher they haven't seen, that's for sure.
Yeah, they never saw him before. 1 away. Here's Sean Rodriguez. He hits a ground ball to third. From the cutoff, Nunez fields and throws 2 away.
You tell me what that is, because we've heard for years, well, they're a veteran team, you have to see them. Come on, other teams see pitchers they haven't seen before, and they don't lose to every one of them.
We have this exact same conversation
every
time
this
happens.
But for years.
Every time it happens, we go, I don't know. There is no answer. I know the Yankees have thrown out stats there about they have this record against rookie pitchers and that record against rookie pitchers, but it seems like the first time they see a guy who's got any kind of stuff, doesn't even have to be really good stuff, but decent stuff, they're just not comfortable against them.
Now 2-away, here is Ruggiano, and there is a strike from Burnett in the count 0-1.
And a lot of it is wins against rookies. I'm not saying they're not going to win this game. They could possibly win this game. Luis Ayala is now throwing in the bullpen, but that'll be somebody else's bullpen, not off a Cobb.
Pitch Swung on and line toward left center. On the run is Gardner. It's over his head and all the way to the left center field wall. Grandison fields and fires in. It's a double for Ruggiano. A 2-out double. Well, Tampa has a runner at second. And here is the rookie catcher, Robinson Chirinos.
And that's even more frustrating because he was ahead on the count, did throw a first pitch strike, threw another one, and it wasn't that greatest strike. It was up, breaking pitch that was up. He got it around the thigh area and just clocked it.
Chirinos, in his first major league game, has a perfect night going. He's doubled and walked. He's a right-hand hitter. And Burnett deals a breaking ball strike.
Now, any updates on Soriano, Chavez, whatever that Joe gave to you guys before the game?
Just that both of them will be playing tomorrow night about 15 miles from here over at Steinbrenner Field for the Class A Tampa Yankees to begin their rehab assignments.
That'll be an 0-1. Weak ground ball toward third. Nunez hustles, fields, fires. Got him. To end the inning, we thank Mark Feinsand.
Thank you.
No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of 5, 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network driven by Jeep. Joel Peralta, right-hander, warming in the Tampa bullpen. Here is Swisher to lead off the 6th inning. Yankees trailing 4-2. And the right-hander Cobb deals line. There's a base hit. There's the first really legit hit by the Yankees. A line drive to right by the Swisheroo. So here is Posada, and he becomes the tying run. This would be Cobb's last inning anyway, whether he's in trouble or not, because he's right now at 93 pitches. AJ is right around there, too.
And they had Ayala up a little while ago. Jim Hickey on the run out. I think he's just stalling. Maybe he's just about had it, has Cobb, as they're waiting for Peralta to get warmed up. Becoming Yankees Universe rookie member and receive a limited edition Derek Jeter bobblehead. Join Yankees Universe today by calling 800-GO-YANKS or by visiting yankees.com/universe.
I said Burnett was in that area. Looking up at the board, Burnett's at 97 pitches. Yankee bullpen is quiet. Hickey leaves. And here is Posada against Cobb. Georgie is the tying run. Posada has grounded out and walked. Now, here we go. Swisher, a very short lead. Pitch. Swung on and grounded to second. Rodriguez goes to short one. On to first. It's a double play very quickly. A 4-6-3 double play. Cobb gets a lot of ground balls. And that's what you want from any pitcher. So a 4-6-3 DP. It takes care of the base runner. 2 outs, no one on. Here's Russell Martin.
And we'll take a look at that. It was a sinker from Cobb, a very, very good one. And Rodriguez went in back of Swisher, waited for him to run before he got that ball. It was a very tough double play. Cobb very excited, pumped his fist.
So 2 down. Here is Martin. And Cobb deals a little low on the count, 1-0. Strike 3 is called. Now there's a great 6 innings for Alex Cobb. For the Yanks, no runs on a hit, no one left at the end of 5.5, 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Now to the bottom of the 6th inning, it's 4-2 Tampa. Alex Cobb probably is too. I'm almost sure he is. A.J. Burnett will begin the inning with 97 pitches. Yankees have started their bullpen again.
Well, Hector Noesi is warming up for the Yankees. You know, I saw, usually you see people patting the pitcher on the back and congratulating. He was congratulating everybody else as he walked out, did Alex Cobb.
Well, I don't blame him being pumped up. Faced the Yankees and pitched brilliantly. Here is the ninth hitter. Switch hitter Elliott Johnson to lead off. He's 0 for 2. Switch hitter batting left. And Burnett deals, and there is a strike. Nunez comes in a third to guard against the bunt. Tampa has a 4-2 lead as we play in the bottom of the 6th. And on the ground a second, Cano gobbles it up and throws to first, 1 away.
All tied up 7 apiece. Boston at Baltimore. They're in the top of the 7th at Camden Yards. Salto Lamacchi and Reddick have homered for Boston. J.J. Hardy and Adam Jones have homered for Baltimore. White Sox lead Kansas City 2-0, top of the 5th in KC. Florida still leading the Mets 3-0, top of the 8th at Citi Field.
Johnny Damon lines one foul down the right field line. And the count 0-1. You know, they have a protector when the bullpens are on the field in foul territory. And he protects the catcher and obviously the pitcher down there. And whoever the protector is made a nice play. That ball was really hit by Damon.
Losing. Atlanta leading Colorado 5-0.
There's a ground ball base hit between first and second. So Damon hits one in the hole. He's on. 1 on, 1 out. And here is Ben Zobrist.
Still to come, Milwaukee and Arizona and the Dodgers at San Francisco. You know, John, I was looking at that schedule, and after the 4 games with New York, they go to the Rays to Kansas City, then Oakland, then Seattle, then come back to Tropicana, 3 games with Toronto, and then 3 more with Oakland and 4 more with Kansas City.
So Tampa Bay might hang in this race for quite a while against those teams. Here is Ben Zobrist. And the pitch is high. You know, it's very tough to figure this thing out. But Tampa Bay has such good pitching, and Oakland and Seattle can't hit a lick. As I said, they have the 2 top ERAs in the American League. And look where they are. They both played themselves out of the race. I think Seattle has lost something like 9 straight or so. That'll be a 1-0 to Zobrist. First, Burnett throws over to first. Let's see. Seattle has lost 9 in a row, and they're 11.5 out, and Oakland is 13 out. There is the 1-0. And that fastball outside, 2-0.
To put a little exclamation on that, the Rangers won their 11th straight yesterday. And they've been on the coast. They played Baltimore, Oakland, and Seattle. And in the 4-game sweep of the Mariners, the Seattle Mariners scored 2 runs in 4 games.
The 2-0 strike. It is amazing. You know, I believe pitching is that important, but you could argue against it by saying, hey, well, look what Oakland's done. Look what Seattle's done.
2 runs in 4 games.
Well, then I would say that would be very tough to win. There'll be a 2-1 to Zobrist. Switch hitter batting left. Damon leads off first. And the pitch outside. And the count 3-1. Obviously, the Yankees can't afford to fall further behind. They're down 4-2. And Burnett is behind a good hitter, 3-1. And a better hitter is on deck, Longoria. Zobrist has singled, walked, and grounded out. Now the 3-1. Damon goes, and the pitch is taken for ball 4.
Right, now Ayala has been warming this entire time, and here comes Joe Girardi. And this call to the bullpen is sponsored by your local Sunoco. That call to the bullpen was presented by the Help to Quit Smoking to Hector Noesi, who has pitched very well for the Yankees. We had a clarification on the lightning strike. It did not hit the building. It hit a branch line in a substation, which knocked out a generator and affected about 400 houses or buildings or something.
Well, Burnett leaves, and Noesi is in at a very tough spot. Longoria is the hitter, and you have Johnny Damon at second and Ben Zobrist at first, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Tampa, and the pitch, a breaking ball strike from Noesi, and the count 0-1. Longoria working on a perfect night. He has doubled, walked, and walked. 4-2 Tampa, bottom of the 6th, 2 on, 1 out. And the right-hander deals, swung on a high fly to right. Swisher cutting toward the line, makes the catch. Damon will tag and go to third, and there are 2 away.
You know, John, you did say that Noesi is in a very tough spot, which shows you what Joe Girardi thinks of Noesi, that he can get out in these kinds of situations. And I really think, except for that one night in Cincinnati, and remember that, where he just couldn't get anybody out, he's been terrific since he's come up.
I agree with you, and they do think he has terrific stuff, sure. So first and third, 2 out here in the 6th. Here's a left-hand hitter, Casey Kochman, who is 2-for-3. One of those 2 singles, an RBI single. And the right-handed Noesi holds the set and deals, and the pitch low, and the count 1-0. Throw to first, and Zobrist jumps on back. Zobrist might run. He has stolen 10 out of 12. And the reason he might run is if Martin throws through, then maybe Damon runs home. There'll be a 1-0 to the left-hand hitter Kochman. And the pitch, there's a strike at the knees. You know, that fastball clocked. And we never know if the gun in all these ballparks is too fast. But that fastball is 95 anyway on the gun. And right at the knees on the outside corner. Low ball 4. They're loaded up.
They missed with that fastball, and they've been so efficient with that fastball. They've been missing with the breaking pitches. Tried to keep it low, got it too low with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
I have no idea what's going to happen to this at bat, which up to this point is probably the biggest at bat in the game. Base hit would do irreparable harm to the Yankees. And obviously, if he gets him out, might give the Yankees a little boost. But anyway, my point is going to be that the first pitch is really important. Upton is a free swinger. He chases everything. Got a lot of power. And strike 1 is very important. Bases loaded, 2 out. Pitch swung on and popped him up. Off first to Shera. Noesi did a great job. No runs, 1 hit, and 3 left at the end of 6. 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Walks.
This is Maria.
Well, the new pitcher, 35-year-old Joel Peralta, comes in fastball, slider, and a split. 35 years old.
Correction to Cubs line. 2 runs, 1 earned.
Now to the top of the 7th. Tampa Bay with a 4-2 lead. Gardner, Nunez, and Jeter, 8, 9, and 1. Tampa Bay has a lefty up in their bullpen. There are a lot of lefties in the bullpen. The pitch to Gardner is outside. And the count 1-0. Here are the numbers on the starting pitchers. For Cobb, who can win it, and he can't lose it, 6 innings, 2 runs, only 1 earned, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 4 walks. And of all the hits, only 1 was a legit line drive hit. Here's the 1-0 to Gardner. And it's high, 2-0. Gardner has walked twice. Now the line on Burnett, who can lose it, he can't win it. 5 1/3, 4 runs, 7 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 6 walks. Obviously too many walks. The Yankees very fortunate to be this close, 4-2. It'll be a 2-0 to Gardner. And the pitch is high, 3-0. You know, there's one year that Marco Scudero played for Toronto. He got a lot of walks, and you wonder, now, how does he do that? He does it, obviously, by taking pitches. You know, why would you walk Scudero? Well, Gardner, he draws a lot of walks, and tonight 2 walks, and he's 3-0 here. And the Yankees need him on base. The minute he gets on base, the next batter's the tying run. There's the 3-0. And there's a strike on the outside corner just in the count 3-1.
Well, the lefty is Cesar Ramos, who came over from San Diego. He was the Padres' #1 pick out of Long Beach State.
Howell, Ramos, McGee, and the guy they brought up today, Alex Torres. 4 lefties in the bullpen. Do you think that's enough? Now here's the 3-1. And there's a strike. Gardner doing the job, though. He's trying to get on base, so he took 2 strikes. The first 3 pitches were balls, so the count full 3-2. The Yankees have 3 hits, but one was a bunt single, and one was a ground ball in the infield that went between 2 players on the overshift against Teixeira. And the legit hit was a line drive single last inning by Swisher. Well, here's the 3-2. Gardner on his own, of course. The right-hander Peralta will deal 3-2. And that's foul back to the screen, so the count holds 3-2. Now the right-hander Peralta is set. It'll be another 3-2 to Gardner. Swung on and line to right. Right at Zobrist, who makes the catch, 1 away.
And Joe Madden has used Peralta a lot. This is a league-leading 46th appearance for the reliever.
Number 26.
He pitched last night. Everybody pitched last night. Their bullpen pitched 8 innings. Gave up 1 run on 3 hits, the 1 run obviously, but they walked 10 in 8 innings, that bullpen.
No, 1 away. And here's Nunez. And the right-hander deals a breaking ball low. That was pretty good pitching by Peralta. He was down 3-0 to Gardner, and you know what? He came back. And he threw 2 strikes to get the 3-2. Gardner fouled off a pitch, and then he got at him to hit a line drive at Zobrist and right. Oh, 1 out, no one on. Nunez, a right-hand hitter. And Peralta deals, swung on a high pop to first. Kochman on the foul line makes the catch, and there are 2 away.
I think fastball only about 91. He doesn't do anything fancy. Veteran, been around a long time.
The shortstop, Derek Jeter.
Now here's Derek Jeter, who has grounded out twice and struck out. And the pitch is a breaking ball, pop foul, first base out of play, and the count 0-1.
In-game box score sponsored by McGladrey. Assurance, tax, consulting, experience the power of being understood. Go to McGladrey.com. For the Rays, 4 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. They have left 10 men on base. Yankees, 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and they've left 5 on base.
That'll be an 0-1 to the captain. 2 outs, no one on, top of the 7th. And the right-hander deals line to left field. There's a base hit. But, you know, they always tell you, it's so true, it's so apparent. You want to score runs, so you have to put your hits and walks together. The Yankees aren't doing that. Here comes Joe Madden, who is going to go to the lefty. The reason the lefty is up to pitch to Granderson. And I can understand that. Granderson's the tying run.
Well, the lefty Cesar Ramos is on the mound. Not a hard-throwing lefty. And Joe uses his pitchers. He trusts a few of them more than others. This is his 43rd appearance of the season. He has allowed runs in 4 of his last 8 appearances. He got off to a really good start and has sort of slowed down a little bit here. Not a hard-throwing lefty, so I would imagine after the second or third time around the league, or the second time around the league, you could pick up the delivery and sort of pick up those pitches. You know, Granderson hasn't had a whole lot of trouble with lefties, particularly this kind of lefty.
Jeter at first base with 2 outs. Granderson is the tying run. Granderson a bunt single, grounded out, walked. He has scored a run, stolen a base. 4-2 Tampa, top of the 7th, 2 outs, and Jeter at first. Lefty to lefty, Ramos to Granderson, and the pitch, a fastball inside, 1-0. Pitch inside. So Granderson walks, another fastball all the way in, but that time he missed. But he missed the right way. He missed all the way in. Now Jim Hickey comes out, and here comes Mark Teixeira. So they have to decide righty or lefty. They've already decided. Teixeira will come up as a right-hand hitter, and Hickey gathers all the infield with him at the mound.
And Jim Hickey, the only one talking. Everybody just listening, including the pitcher Ramos.
You know, they're letting Teixeira come up as a right-hand hitter. And the catch is that Teixeira, as I look up in my stat pack, is hitting 50 points better as a right-hand hitter. So here is Teixeira. The tying runs are on base, and Teixeira is the go-ahead run. Mark tonight has a single and a ribby in 3 at-bats. 2 on, 2 out. And the pitch, fastball low on the count, 1-0. I guess they have all the lefties in the world. I mentioned they have 4 lefties in the bullpen. But I guess they like Ramos because he's in, no one's warming up, and the batter on deck is a lefty hitter, Robbie Cano. There'll be a 1-0 to Teixeira. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. And the count 1-1.
You know, maybe one of the reasons that they're having him up right-handed is that 17 of his 25 homers are from the left side.
That'll be a 1-1. And the pitch is grounded foul outside of third. Of course, he's had, I don't have the stat in front of me now, but he's had probably twice as many at-bats as a lefty hitter because there's so many more righty pitches than lefty pitches. So it'll be a 1-2 to Teixeira. Now the left-hander is set, and the pitch, strike 3, outside corner. Good pitch. For the Yankees, no runs on a hit, 2 left. And at the end of 6.5 innings of play, 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep. Welcome. The 1-2 cut on him. A breaking ball strikes out Sean Rodriguez. Second strikeout for Noese. John Sterling and Susan Waldman at Tropicana. Left-hand hitting Sam Fold. A speedy little left-hand hitter, not much of a hitter, will pinch it for Ruggiano and probably go to left field. The pitch to Fold is inside, and the count 1-0. The 7th inning stretch today was sponsored by the BMW. 1-0 to Fold. And there's a breaking ball strike.
Fuld also part of that trade for Matt Garza with the Cubs. As John said, not much of a hitter.
There's the 1-1. Foul back, and the count 1-2.
But just an amazing fielder. He's a highlight reel all by himself, and he really has captured the imagination of everybody here and a lot of the sports world. You know, he does all kinds of interviews. People want to talk to him. He's very bright. Went to Stanford from Durham, New Hampshire.
The 1-2. Hit on the ground wide to third and through to left field. A base hit. So Fuld goes the other way and grounds a single between Jeter and Noesi. Fuld was hitting .236 with 3 homers before the hit. Now he's at first with 1 out, and here is the rookie catcher, Robinson Chirinos. One on, 1 out. Chirinos is a right-hand hitter. He's doubled, walked, and grounded out. Tampa with a 4-2 lead, bottom of the 7th. Now, one thing Fuld can do is run. He has stolen 17 out of 25. So he is a threat to go. And Tampa tries to increase their lead. Chirinos is a right-hand hitter. Now AC holds the set and deals way high with the fastball. The count 1-0.
Now Martin going out to talk to Noesi, maybe paying too much attention to Fuld. He keeps looking over there. Remember how you said before the game about how teams being tired? You thought the Red Sox would probably go out and score a lot of runs. They're up to 12.
Doesn't surprise me. First of all, part of that is Baltimore's pitching staff, but you do go out loose on those nights. It's like, you know, just getting out of school. You know, they got to their hotel. We called people at 6 or so in the morning. And you knew they didn't have any BP, and they probably were allowed to get to the ballpark really late. And just to feel, then you're in a good hitter's ballpark against a bad pitching staff. It all contributes. That'll be a 1-0 to the right-hand hitting Chirinos. There goes Fuld. Pitch is grounded to short. Jeter has no play at second. Goes to first. The starting the runner keeps him out of an absolutely sure double play. It puts a runner at second with 2 out. He can score on a base hit. And here is Elliott Johnson.
And Fuld is so fast that he was halfway there as the ball was hit. And I'll have to update my scoring. It's now 15-7. I think I'll close this computer.
I really have seen a lot of basketball teams do that. You know, get to the arena because of all the problems flying through snow and such, and then go out and play great. It's like all restrictions are off. 2 outs. Elliott Johnson's a switch hitter batting left, and the pitch is low. Johnson is 0-for-3, a strikeout and a couple of ground balls. Tampa has a 4-2 lead. We are in the bottom of the 7th. And you know there's bad blood between Baltimore and Boston, and they want to win, but they don't have enough pitching to win. And there's the 1-0. And the pitch low. Here's something. Noesi. Remember we talked about this with Burnett? Mm-hmm. He is behind a guy who's hitting 200. And he's 2-0. The guy on deck is Johnny Damon. Go figure, huh? And Johnson, a switch hitter batting left. And the 2-0 cut on him. Missed it. They count 2-1. Now, I wanted to talk about Damon. I'll do it sometime. There's a 4-game series. He got a chance at 3,000 hits. If he can get to 2,700 this year, he'd have to play 2 more years. Average, obviously, 150 a year. He can do all those things I just mentioned. And it'll be a 2-1. And the pitch is low. And the count 3-1.
Well, I think he's planning on it, John.
I think it'd be great. A lot of people say, well, he's not a Hall of Fame player. You get 3,000 hits, you should be in the Hall of Fame. And Damon has such great numbers. Well, I just looked at that last pitch again. That was a strike. Just wasn't called a strike by Ed Hickox. It'll be a 3-1 to Johnson. And the pitch swung on and pop foul, third base out of play, and the count 3-2.
You know, sometimes you look at young pitchers and see if you agree with this, John. I think sometimes pitchers give hitters too much credit. You know, this is how you pitch to this guy, and they're careful, and I can do this to get him out. Well, if they're hitting 200, they're hitting 200 for a reason.
Yeah, and he's had a lot of at-bats. So Fuld, a very speedy runner, leads off second. And it'll be a 3-2 to Johnson. And Noesi deals, swung on and popped him up off third foul. Nunez toward the stands, has room, makes the catch. So Noesi pitched out of trouble. No runs on one hit and one left. And now the end of 7 innings of play. It's 4-2 Tampa on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, Sam Fuld stays in left field, stays in the game at left.
Now to the top of the 8th inning. Yankees are running out of time. Robbie Cano leads off against the lefty Cesar Ramos. And the pitch is swung on and popped up behind the plate, but it's going to be out of play. The count 0-1. Tampa has a 4-2 lead. Yankees only have 4 hits. And 2 of them were of the, as they say, the infield variety. It's like it's a variety pack of infield hits. One was a bunt single, and one was a ground ball in the hole on the right side by Teixeira. Cano 0 for 3. Did get an RBI in the first inning when Tampa failed to complete a double play. Pitch swung on and in the air to center field. Dumped another run. On the run, coming, dives. Did he make the catch? No, he trapped it. Out there was Dan Iasona. Give him credit. He signaled trap right away. So Cano kind of bloops a single in front of Upton. Yankees get a break and get the leadoff hitter on.
And we just saw that again. Boy, what a great call that was. Upton tried to sell it as if he did, but it bounced right into the glove. It did hit the turf.
Now here is Swisher. You know, we give these averages all the time. One thing you should know, Swisher here is a right-hand hitter. Is hitting .325 as a right-hand hitter. Now the left-hander Ramos will deal to Swisher. And the pitch low. Well, you have a .325 hitter up there, and he is the tying run. The Yankees are back in business. Get exactly what your business needs from Time Warner Cable Business Class. Customized solutions for your business. Visit them at twcbc.com. And the lefty deals high fastball. The count 2-0. Of course, when Posada comes up, to be honest, you have to give Posada's average as a right-hand hitter, which is very low. Swisher 1 for 3 on the night.
Kyle Farnsworth starting to warm up for the Rays.
Now here's the 2-0. That pitch low on the count 3-0. So one more bad one, and the Yankees would have the tying runs on base with no one out. The lefty Ramos is set, and the 3-0 way high. Well, Swisher is on. A pop fly single and a walk, and the Yankees have the tying runs on, no one out, and Posada has been called back. Andrew Jones will come up and hit for Posada. Second walk by Ramos. Jones does have pop. He does not have a good batting average. Here comes Jim Hickey again. Well, that Hickey's in great shape, isn't he? Posada's a right-hand hitter who's hitting 126 for 50. Jones is hitting only 213, but he's been up bat 94 times. But the thing with Jones is he has 20 hits and he has 17 RBIs, 6 homers, 17 RBIs. So here is Andrew.
Well, if they stall any longer, and if he walks any more slowly back, they'll have time to get Farnsworth warmed.
Attention media, tonight's paid attendance is 22,471. 22471.
Well, the Yankees are not drawing here. They announced the crowd 22,000, and I think they average about 19,000. I know it's a Monday night, but well, anyway, here's Jones with the tying runs on. Cano at second, Swisher at first, no one out. And the left-hander ready to deal to Andrew. Up high in the count, 1-0. A right-hand hitter is on deck in Russell Martin. Maybe they don't want their closer pitching 2 full innings. I don't know. This would seem the right spot the minute Jones was announced. That'll be a 1-0 to Andrew. Runners lead first and second, no one out. And the 1-0 up high, 2-0.
Well, of course, Farnsworth did pitch last night, so maybe he just isn't loose yet. And I just got a shot at Joe Madden in the dugout. You have no way to fight this. Guy's going to throw balls. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, and Hickey's already been out. That'll be a 2-0 to Jones. In other words, they can't come out without taking Ramos out of the game. It'll be a 2-0 to Jones. And the lefty deals. There's a strike. That was a change. And if you're Andrew Jones, who has always been a dead red hitter, you're sitting there waiting for a fastball. Now, when you have 2 strikes, that takes care of that. Then you have to, as they say, see the ball, hit the ball. What the Yankees would like is to avoid the old double play. That'll be a 2-1 to Jones. Swung on and hit in the air to center. Fairly deep. Upton is there. Cano to tag. Cano bluffs. And the throw goes to third. So there's one away on the fly ball to center. Now, Cano doesn't know the throw is offline. So he did the right thing by not running. I mean, the base runners are so important. So Jones hits for Posada, flies out. Here comes Joe Madden. The Yankees don't have any lefties on the bench but Chris Dickerson. So I don't know why he didn't bring him in before, but anyway, here comes Madden. That's all for Ramos.
And this call to the bullpen is sponsored by... Well, the new pitcher is their closer, Kyle Farnsworth, and he's got just great numbers. 3-1 ERA of 1.89. He's been in 41 games, including last night. Pitched last night in that 16-inning games. 38 innings pitched. 29 hits, 8 earned runs, couple of home runs, 7 walks, and 27 strikeouts. And, I was joking, John, but not really. Listening to one of those sports talk shows today in Tampa, and people calling and saying the only one that you can depend on in this entire bullpen is Kyle Farnsworth. And he has just done such a turnaround since he has gotten here. Very different. I think I'd said earlier before, I was talking to some of the guys in the Rays clubhouse, and they said last year when he was with Atlanta, he learned a cutter and started throwing a cutter to go along with that slider. So he was always 4-seamer and a slider, and now added that little cutter in there. Maybe that has helped. The guys in the Rays clubhouse seem to think it has.
Well, he is in, I would think, to go all the way, but a left-hander is up right away. Yankees would have lefties up in the 9th inning. Now here's Russell Martin with 2 on, the tying runs, 1 out, top of the 8th. Tampa Bay with a 4-2 lead. Martin's 0 for 3. And Farnsworth deals. The pitch low outside, the count 1-0.
He pitched an inning last night. He walked a couple.
Here's the 1-0. Swung on, hit on the ground, base hit left field between third and short. Cano rounds third. They're going to hold him. Fuld made a very good throw, good strong throw in. So Morton singles in the shortstop hole. It loads the bases. The tying runs at second and third, and the lead run at first. Everyone there safely and help ensure your retirement is safe and secure with New York Life Insurance Company. Visit us at NewYorkLife.com and find out how.
Well, that was a fastball. It was right down the middle of the plate. And Fuld is a terrific left fielder and actually has a pretty decent arm for a little lefty like that, a little left fielder.
Well, here's Brett Gardner. The tying runs are Cano at third and Swisher at second. Martin at first. The lead run, Gardner takes high. Gardner has walked twice and flied to right. Now, one thing, the right fielder, Ben Zobrist, is playing way over in right center. And I'm sure that's the way to pitch Gardner. But every now and then, Gardner can pull a fastball in. The 1-0 high, 2-0. If he ever pulls a fastball in, the Yanks are in business. Well, the count 2-0 on Gardner. With the bases loaded, 1 out, top of the 8th, the Yankees trailing 4-2. Base hit could very well tie the game. Farnsworth will deal 2-0 to Gardner. And the pitch is strike at the knees. And the count 2-1.
Farnsworth throwing that fastball, 95, 96.
Now the right-hander is set, the 2-1. Strike. On the outside corner. On the count 2-2 on Gardner. Runners lead at every base. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, a little dribbler, foul of the third baseline. So the count holds at 2-2. Boy, are the Yankees in need of a base hit, huh? They got 2 cracks at it with Gardner and then Nunez. And a base hit will undoubtedly tie the game. Cano at third, Swisher at second, Martin at first. With 1 out in the 8th. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, hit on the ground, base hit left field. 1 run scores Cano. They have to hold the other runners. And they did. Gardner a base hit and an RBI. And the Yankees trail 4-3. You know the Yankees wanted to score that run. But with Gardner up, the left fielder can play shallow. And Fuld got that ball. Swisher was just getting to third base. So now a fly ball will tie the game.
And Farnsworth overthrowing those fastballs, so he was missing up with them. And Gardner finally got something that he could go the other way with. And Fuld, I think he's a terrific left fielder. He knew exactly what to do with that. Got in very, very quickly. And I don't know, John, they were talking all about Farnsworth. This guy looks the same to me as he did when he was in New York.
Bases loaded, 1 out. The tying run at third. And the pitch, Nunez fouls it back in the count 0-1. The runner at third is Swisher. Martin at second, and the fastest of them all, Gardner at first. Now a fly ball will tie the game. So Nunez has to think about contact. Bases loaded, 1 out. 4-3 Tampa pitch. Swung on and grounded, double play ball to short. Go to second, 1 on to first, not in time, and the tying run scores. Give credit to Brett Gardner. He got down to second, and he took out Sean Rodriguez, who could not make a good throw. So Nunez grounds into a 6-4 force. Swisher scores, and the Yankees have tied the game at 4, and here is the captain.
And that ball was low when it was picked up off the ground, and it was a good slide by Gardner. But there was nothing on that throw by Rodriguez. That's the second time he's done that. He really is not making that pivot well, and he got nothing on that throw.
So here's Jeter, first and third, 2 out, top of the 8th. The game tied at 4. Farnsworth deals inside fastball, 1-0. Susan, who's the lefty in the bullpen?
Good question.
Because the next hitter up is Granderson. Martin, the tie-breaking run at third. Nooney, the runner at first with 2 out. And the 1-0. Low. On to second goes Nunez with a stolen base. They didn't throw through. No one covered. They didn't want to cover and have a ground ball go through that spot for a base hit. So Nunez steals second.
And that's Torres.
That's the newcomer. Alex Torres just got here. So the Yankees have second and third, 2 out for Jeter. Jeter 1 for 4 on the night. And the game is tied at 4. The right-hander deals. Well, there's a strike on the outside corner. And the count 2-1. He threw a slider, he threw a breaking ball. So the count 2-1. Now a base hit would mean 2, and the guy at second, Nunez, has outstanding speed. Nunez RBI is his 17th. Gardner's RBI is 19th. Here's the 2-1. It's high, 3-1. Well, first base is open. Farnsworth does not have to throw a strike. Granderson is on deck. It'll be a 3-1 to Jeter. Now the Yankees rally in the 8th inning and scratch out a couple of runs and have tied the game at 4. And have second and third with 2 out. Now the right-hander is set, and the 3-1 caught on a missed, and the count 3-2. If you believe the gun, that was 97. He threw it by him upstairs. If it's 97, boy, you can understand that. So it'll be a 3-2 to Jeter. For Farnsworth, throw the best pitch you can. First base is open. Martin off third. Nunez off second with 2 out. Now Farnsworth is set. Here's the payoff. Struck him out swing on a breaking ball. Now the Yankees rally to tie the game. They get 2 runs on 3 hits and leave 2. And now at the end of 7.5, we're tied at 4. On the Yanks Radio Network, driven by Jeep. Let's take 10 seconds for station ID on the New York Yankees Radio Network. John Sterling, Susan Wallman back at Tropicana. We go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 4.
And David Robertson, the new pitcher, and he's just been superb all year. 2-0 ERA of 1.24. This is his 40th appearance. 5 earned runs in 36 1/3 innings, 23 walks and 57 strikeouts. And he'll face Johnny Damon, top of the order for the Rays.
So this is the big inning for Tampa. This is when their hitters come up. Damon, Zobrist, and Longoria. And they have to face David Robertson. Nunez in at third, and Damon takes outside. Johnny is 1 for 3 with a walk. Noisi, give him credit. He held them there in big innings in tough spots. 1 2/3 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. The 1-0 line foul down the right field line. Cesar Ramos went 2/3 of an inning, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. Farnsworth allowed the inherited runners to score, but the runs belonged to Ramos. So right now, Robertson and Farnsworth are the pitchers of record. It'll be a 1-1. And Damon takes a strike on the inside corner with that good fastball. The count 1-2. Probably the key to the inning is Damon. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with the next hitters. But Damon gets on and he runs so well. So Robertson will deal 1-2. Struck him out swinging, breaking ball. That's the first strikeout for Robertson, of course. The 7th by Yankee pitching, 1 away. And here is Ben Zobrist.
Number 18, Ben Zobrist.
Zobrist is 1 for 2 with 2 walks. You know, Susan, I've said this because you're sitting alongside me for every game, so you've heard me say it. Probably bores you to death, but the pitch to Zobrist swung on a high fly foul down the right field line. You know, sooner or later, Robertson's going to have a bad outing. He hasn't had a bad outing since April something, you know.
Well, yeah, you do keep saying it, and so far it has not been sooner.
I mean, his work this year has been really fabulous. I'll be an 0-1 to Zobrist, and the pitch is grounded foul, so Robertson jumps out ahead 0-2. Zobrist to switch hitter batting left, home run power.
Robertson really using his fastball. Used it almost exclusively on Damon. Just terrific pitching to Damon.
He'll deal 0-2 to Zobrist. And that pitch outside, another fastball, the count 1-2. Longoria, a right-hand hitter, is on deck. Yankees play Zobrist straight away. And it'll be a 1-2. Swung on and pop foul, third base out of play. The count holds at 1-2.
Just trying to protect the plate on that one, did Zobrist. Just stuck the bat head out, try and foul it off.
It'll be a 1-2 to Zobrist. 1 out, no one on. Bottom of the 8th. We're tied at 4. Pitch. Struck him out swinging. That's an off-speed pitch. How do you like that? That was an off-speed pitch, and that ball was thrown down and low and away. What a pitch.
Looking at that, what did it? It's like a changeup. It was only 85 miles an hour. Wow. So now he's got another weapon to go along with that big curveball and the fastball that he throws.
And he has such a good fastball. That is a great weapon. Two-way here is Longoria, a right-hand hitter, and the pitch is inside, and the count 1-0. Because it looks like a fastball has the rotation, and obviously it's much slower, the bottom drops out. If you throw it right, and boy, that was thrown right.
Was thrown right. Well, he was working on that in spring training, and only recently really has used it a lot.
Pitch. Swung on a high fly down the left field line. Gardner going foul territory, makes the catch right in the Yankee bullpen, and Robertson has another brilliant 1-2-3. Now we played 8 innings at the Trop. We're tied at 4 on the Yanks radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, what a spot for a 23-year-old to be making his major league debut, huh? Top of the 9th inning against the New York Yankees, all tied up at 4. But that's what Alex Torres is doing. Alex Torres was a big part of the deal that sent Scott Kazmir to the Angels. He came over with Sean Rodriguez in 2009. 23 years old. He was 6-6 with a 3.23 ERA and 18 starts this season with the Durham Bulls. He was ranking 2nd in the International League with both strikeouts, 99, and walks. So he throws a lot of pitches, obviously. But this is quite a spot for young Alex Torres, just 23 years old. Brought him up today.
A very unusual place to start a young left-hander. First of all, he's a starting pitcher, not a relief pitcher. And he comes in the ninth inning of a tie game against the Yanks. And he faces a left-hand hitter in Curtis Granderson. No one's warming up in the bullpen. So lefty to lefty, we're tied at 4 in the ninth, and the pitch, a fastball outside, 1-0. He is not overly big. I don't know what they list him at. He does not look overly big.
They list him at 5'10".
And there's the 1-0. Fastball high, 2-0. And that, you really could understand. So an odd time to bring him in. Farnsworth goes 2/3 of an inning, no runs, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, no walks. Here is the 2-0 to Granderson. Fastball strike, and the count 2-1. That fastball clocked at 93. It'll be Granderson, Teixeira, and Cano, 2 left-hand hitters in back of the switch hitter on either side of the switch hitter, Teixeira. Now here's the 2-1. Foul back, and the count 2-2. Granderson has singled, a bunt single, grounded out, and walked twice. And it hasn't been easy for the Yanks. They've had a battle back, and they have now tied it at 4. And there's the 2-2. Low outside in the count, 3-2. I love the stats Susan gave you about his strikeouts. He led the National League. He also led him in walks. So.
Right. But you can see just watching him, Johnny, he throws across his body in a very violent motion, falls off the mound. I would imagine that messes up your mechanics a little bit. Doesn't have a really great release point. You can see why he'd throw a lot of pitches.
The payoff is grounded foul at home plate, so the count holds at 3-2. Obviously, the Yankees would love to get Granderson on the way he runs. Now, once again, it'll be a 3-2 from Torres, and the pitch is pop foul. Third base side of home plate out of play, and the count holds at 3-2. You know what really surprises me? That they don't have anyone up in the bullpen.
You know what? I guess they would think they got Brandon Gomes, Jake McGee, and J.P. Powell up there. I guess they figured, John, what if this goes 16 innings again? He's a starter. He can go.
There is the 3-2. Good point. Pitch. Swung on, grounded toward the middle. It's a base hit to center field. So Granderson singles up the middle. They had Sean Rodriguez favoring Granderson to pull, so his ground ball was between Rodriguez and the second base bag. And now we'll see if Granderson does some running. He is the go-ahead run, and here is Teixeira.
And that fastball was up. And that's why he could get around on it, and it's a ground ball, but it was hit very hard. And Torres, when he's going well, they say will get a lot of ground balls.
So there is the go-ahead run at first. No one out. Here is Teixeira. And the pitch low outside, and the count 1-0. Teixeira 1 for 4. Had an infield single to knock in a run earlier in the game. Obviously. That'd be a 1-0 to Teixeira. Caught on a missed on a change, and the count 1-1. I don't think I've seen his breaking ball yet. Fastball and change. Rodriguez, the second baseman, is almost playing behind second. He is no more than 2 or 3 steps on the first base side of second. The right side is wide open. The 1-1. Fastball strike at the knees, 1-2.
So that fastball, they clocked that at 94. It goes along with that changeup. It's a lot less in the low 80s. I think Teixeira thought that was low, but that looked like a pretty good pitch.
Another lefty hitter on deck, Robbie Cano. Granderson leads off first. And Torres 1-2. Swung on, a pop foul down the right field line. Is anyone going to catch it? No. Lands untouched in the bullpen, the Tampa bullpen, just over the head of Casey Kochman, so the Yankees get a break. Well, let's give you quickly the Yankees Power Report, sponsored by Indian Point Energy Center, the region's most reliable source of electric power. I told you, Teixeira had an RBI earlier, his 67th. Now, the Yankees are led by Granderson, 68, Teixeira, 67, and Cano had an RBI tonight, his 59th. Hey, that's the Yankees Power Report, sponsored by Indian Point Energy Center. The 1-2. Struck came out swinging on a change away. So Teixeira strikes out. 1 on and 1 out, and that'll bring up Robbie Cano.
And Teixeira said something to Ed Hickox. Teixeira was also not happy when he struck out in the 7th inning. Looking, he didn't think that was a strike, and he definitely doesn't think this one is a strike that he swung at anyway.
Now, here is Cano. I just saw Mariano take off his warm-up jacket. The lefty deals, and the breaking ball is in for a strike. Well, there's a breaking ball. Lefty to lefty breaking ball. Obviously, if the Yankees score, I can guarantee you that you're going to see Mo. It's a little tricky if they don't score. Do you use your closer? Some do, to keep it at 4 and hope you win in the next inning, or do you save him for when you get the lead? If you're on the road, you can use a closer in extra innings. You can't if you're at home. It'll be an 0-1 to Cano on first to throw to first base, and Granderson is back.
I don't think Robertson threw very many pitches.
Did he? I don't think he did. No, he got him 1-2.
Many pitches, did he?
I don't think he did. No, he got him 1-2-3. Cano is 1 for 4 with an RBI. He backs out. Meanwhile, this is it for Tampa Bay. They are not going to the bullpen. And the reason I say that is no one is warming up. That'll be an 0-1. And there goes the runner. The pitch is high. The throw to second base is not in time. So Granderson steals second. That was a better throw for Chirinos. But Grandy still stole it. Now, the Yankees have 2 cracks at it with Cano and Swisher.
Granderson's 17th stolen base, and that was stolen on Torres, because Granderson was halfway to second base by the time he finished that delivery. He's got a slow delivery, goes across his body.
And you mentioned 17 steals, 2 of them tonight, and Granderson is now 17 out of 24. So the Yankees have the go-ahead run at second with 1 out. Well, they have 2 cracks at it. And Cano has a count of 1-1, so it's early in the at-bat. Cano and Swisher. And the pitch way inside, fastball, and the count 2-1. There are no questions to be asked if the Yankees score. So then you know who's coming in. It'll be a 2-1 to Robbie. And the pitch cut on and missed, and the count 2-2.
Well, Mariano hasn't really started throwing yet. He's sort of pawing at the dirt, and he's picking up the rosin bag. You know, you really don't want to get warmed up if you're not. He knows how to do this so well. He's just throwing lightly.
Now the lefty Torres is set. The pitch is low, 3-2. You can walk Cano. First base is open, but that takes away that open base. So you'd have to pitch to Swisher, a right-hand hitter. You'd have to pitch to Jones, a right-hand hitter. So the walk is not terrible for the Yanks at all. It'll be a 3-2 to Robbie. Granderson leading off second, the tie-breaking run. We're tied at 4 here in the top of the 9th with 1 out. Now here comes the payoff from Torres. Swung on and foul, third base out of play. Yankees have never seen Torres before. And that was a very weak hack. He just took enough of a swing to put the bat on the ball and fouled it off.
What a spot for a 23-year-old, huh? First major league game. Committed relief in the ninth inning against the Yankees.
Now, once again, the lefty is set. Grandison off second. And the payoff swung on and hit hard, but one hop to second. Rodriguez throws out Cano. They're a two-way. Now, that time, that was a breaking ball, and boy, was Cano on that. And just hit it at the right spot for Tampa, or the wrong spot for the Yankees. Here is Swisher with 2 outs and a runner at third. And here is Hickey. No one's warming, so they will either decide not to pitch to Swisher, or Hickey is out to tell them how they want to pitch to Swisher. Grandison, if I didn't mention it, crossed to third, so he's just 90 feet away.
As usual, Jim Hickey doing all the talking.
And Torres is nodding. You know, you would think they're going to pitch to him, because if they were going to pitch to him, what would take so long to say walk him?
Right.
So, and don't throw Jones a fastball. That would be the instructions, I would say. Swisher 1 for 3 with a walk. He has scored a run. So let's see what they do. And they're going to walk him. I mentioned before that Swisher is hitting about 325 as a right-hand hitter. So you can't look at his numbers. You have to look at his right-hand numbers. So they'll walk him intentionally and go after Andrew Jones. And the Yankees will have first and third and 2 men out.
Whoa. He's ballooning those pitches.
Andrew hit for Posada last inning and flied out, so he's come to bat twice in 2 innings. Grandison, the tie-breaking run at third, and Swisher is at first with 2 out. And here is Jones. Now, when you said that Hickey did all the talking, it's easy to say we're going to walk him. But they were talking about how to pitch Jones, and you would figure they'd stay away from the fastball. So if you're Jones, if I was Andrew Jones, I think early I'd look for a changeup. See if I could hit the ball the opposite way for a base hit to put the Yanks up. Now the lefty is set. And the pitch is low outside. And the count 1-0. It was a fastball, low and away. And there's the 1-0. Low outside fastball, 2-0. I know they didn't tell him to walk Jones. No. Another right-handed is on deck, Russell Martin. Now, if you're Jones, you can sit there and look for your favorite pitch. Grandison off third, the tie-breaking run. Swisher at first, 2 out. Top of the ninth, tied at 4. Pitch. Caught on a missed. And the count 2-1. It was a fastball, but great spot, down and away.
Chirino set up outside, and he just hit the glove. I guess, John, it's probably comforting for Torres to be out there with Chirinos, who obviously caught him in Durham.
I would agree. There's the 2-1. Outside, 3-1 fastball.
He's got to have a lot of butterflies. Got to be nervous.
Of course, you know, if you're a hitter and you're 3-1, in other words, you can take the pitch. It's okay to look in or look out. If I'm hitting, if I'm Jones, I'm looking away. It'll be a 3-1. They've been away on every pitch. Now here's the 3-1. And it's away, but low. So Jones walks, and they're loaded up. And here's another right-hand hitter, Russell Martin.
He tried to get it right on the outside corner, and Madden yelling at Ed Hickox. He didn't like that call. There's been an equal opportunity complaining from both dugouts today on Ed Hickox strike zone.
Well, bases loaded, and you know that the most important pitch for Torres right here is strike one. Bases loaded, 2 out, top of the ninth. And here is Russell Martin, who is 1 for 4. He had a single last inning. Now the lefty is set. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner on a change in the count 0-1.
And a very good changeup. He doesn't seem to be afraid to throw.
So indeed, he did throw strike one. Now the lefty is set, chest high, and the 0-1 fastball away in the count 1-1. Mariano is standing and looking at the game. Grandison is at third. Swisher at second. Andrew Jones at first. 2 out, top of the ninth. And the count 1-1 on Russell Martin. And the left-hander Alex Torres deals outside 2-1. Now, how big a pitch is this? If he doesn't throw a strike, it'll be 3-1 with the bases loaded. Now the lefty is set. It'll be a 2-1 to Martin. Foul back. Good pitch. You got a fastball in on the hands. So the count 2-2. Bases loaded, 2 out, top of the ninth. The game is tied at 4. It'll be a 2-2 to Martin. Rookie lefty Alex Torres now deals 2-2. High fastball, 3-2. A little pressure, huh?
A little bit.
It'll be a 3-2 to Martin. Martin steps out and now back in. In his 1 inning of relief, Torres has already thrown 34 pitches. Bases loaded, 2 out. Top of the ninth, tied at 4. We've gone as far as we can go. It'll be a 3-2 to Martin. The pitch swung on and line, foul down the left field line. Right into the bullpen where Mariano is standing. So Martin did everything he wanted, and it was foul.
Well, Mariano is the coolest cucumber in the whole bunch, John. That ball, everybody scattered when that ball came up, but not Mariano. He just watched it zip by his head.
Yeah, it was a couple feet away. Oh, once again, it'll be a 3-2. Grandison at third, Swisher at second, Andrew Jones at first. 2 outs, top of the ninth, everybody standing at the trap. The game is tied at 4. And left-hander Alex Torres deals 3-2. High ball 4. The Yankees take the lead. Was it pretty? No. Exciting, dramatic? No. Will they take it? You bet. It's a bases-loaded walk. Give Martin an RBI, and the Yankees take a 5-4 lead.
And now Mariano will start to throw. And the way this game has gone, John, it doesn't matter how they score that run.
No, not at all.
Just ballooned upstairs.
Martin's 38th RBI, and here's Brett Gardner with the bases loaded and 2 out. So Grandison scores a run. Remember, he leads the major leagues in runs scored. And he has scored 2 runs tonight. Now here is Gardner, who is 1 for 2 and 2 walks. Lefty to lefty. The pitch inside in the count 1-0. When Joe Madden brought on Torres, Susan, I didn't think he'd think that he's going to throw 37 pitches in the 9th inning.
Well, he must know what they've done down at Durham. He led in both down in the International League and last year in the Southern League in walks and strikeouts. That means he throws a lot of pitches.
It'll be a 1-0 to Gardner. Now you don't have to question who's going to come in and all. Mariano will pitch the bottom of the 9th. And the Yankees have a 5-4 lead. They have the bases loaded and 2 out. The 1-0. Hop high 2-0. As the plate is jumping around on Alex Torres. And the only base hit in the inning was Granderson's leadoff ground ball single up the middle. Now, here's Gardner with a 2-0 count. If I was Gardner, I'd be ready to jump on this. Now the 2-0. Low inside 3-0. Now if I'm Gardner, I wouldn't jump on anything. Let him throw a couple of strikes. It'll be a 3-0 to Gardner. And the pitch. There's a strike. The count 3-1. Now let's see if Gardner swings 3-1. I would think actually he would take it. Torres has thrown 40 pitches in this inning. Bases loaded, 2 out, a run in, 5-4 Yanks in the top of the ninth. And here's the 3-1. Strike. Good pitch on the inside corner. And the count 3-2. But one advantage for the Yankees, 3-2. They'll all be running. Swisher from third, Jones from second, and Martin from first. As the cliche goes, you can start the merry-go-round. And here comes the payoff. Swung on and grounded foul at home plate. Give credit to Torres for this. He behind 3-0, has already given up a run. Bases loaded. He's thrown 3 straight strikes.
He has. This is a big night for him. I'm sure this isn't how he envisioned his major league debut, throwing 42 pitches in less than 1 inning, and more of them balls than strikes. 22 balls, 20 strikes. This isn't how you write it up when you make your major league debut.
And once again, it'll be a 3-2. And they'll all be running. The 3-2 is fouled at home plate. So Swisher goes back to third, Jones to second, and Martin to first. With 2 outs, top of the ninth, the Yankees have scored a run on a single and 3 walks and have a 5-4 lead.
And he threw another strike, John. He really tried to challenge him. That's what he's got to do. He's got a really good arm.
Now once again, it'll be a 3-2. They'll all be running. Swisher from third, Jones from second, Martin from first with 2 out. The 3-2. Swung on and hit on the ground to third. Longoria fields, throws to first in time to end the inning. But the Yankees get 1 run on 1 hit and leave 3 at the end of 8.5 innings of play. 5-4 Yanks on the New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Now at the Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Summer Clearance Event.
Right now, during the summer, a dealer contribution, lease through Ally. Residency restrictions apply. Must take retail delivery by 11. Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and registered trademarks of Chrysler Group, LLC.
Well, the line on Torres in that 9th inning, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 strikeouts, and 3 walks. And the Yankees will take it. They certainly didn't hit tonight, but they got a whole bunch of walks and scored enough to take a 5-4 lead. Robertson went 1 perfect inning with 2 strikeouts. Curtis Grannis was just motioning to Chris Dickerson. Dickerson's gone in right field. And here is Casey Kochman to lead off. So Dickerson replaces Swisher in right. Defensive move that the Yankees make, and Joe makes. In the 9th inning, Kochman, Upton, and Rodriguez. Kochman swings and lines one to right to Dickerson. He's back near the track, makes the catch, 1 away. How do you like that? They put Dickerson in. That wasn't a tough catch, but he went back and grabbed it. One pitch and one out. Now here is B.J. Upton. You know, you look at the clock, it's a 4-hour game. Remember, they had that 18-minute brownout, power brownout in the game. Here is B.J. Upton, a right-handed with one out pitch. Caught on and missed. Upton 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Nunez plays, on the line to take away the ground ball double. He plays even with the bag at third, and he's practically on the bag at third. And it'll be an 0-1. Fouled on the ground behind home plate, 0-2. The Yankees have a 5-4 lead, trying to win their third in a row. Boston was winning by about 10 runs, so you figure the Red Sox will win their game. It'll be an 0-2 to Upton. Pitch inside, and the count 1-2. In this case, Robertson would be the winner, and obviously Alex Torres in that one inning would be the loser if Mo. The pitch is strike 3. What a cutter. Upton didn't like it. That was the cutter that starts at the front hip of the right-hand hitter and then moves over the plate. So they're a two-way. That's the first strikeout for Mo, obviously, and the 9th by Yankee pitching. Now two-way, here's Sean Rodriguez, a right-hand hitter. Yankees with a 5-4 lead, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs pitch is low, and the count 1-0. Now Mariano ready to deal 1-0. Cut on a miss, cutter away, and the count 1-1. Five-4 Yankees, bottom of the 9th with 2 outs, and the Yankees are 1 out away. Sean Rodriguez, a right-hand hitter. The Yankees play him straight away, infield and outfield. Here is the pitch. Swung on a high pop off first. Teixeira near the stands, has room, and makes a catch in the stands. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win. Teixeira went over and leaned into the stands, and his glove was actually in the stands as he made the catch for the final out. Terrific play by Mark Teixeira, and a good comeback by the Yankees, and they win 5-4. Well, tonight the Yankees have secured their 56th win of the year. Well, we'll go down on the field. Susan had...
Okay, John, we'll throw it back up to you.
Well, the Yankees had what would be called a gritty win. It certainly wasn't pretty. They still didn't hit, although they did wind up with 8 hits. Well, they were able to scratch out runs, and Brett Gardner said something pretty good. Even though A.J. got off to a poor start, which he did, he had trouble throwing strikes, Tampa Bay didn't score after the second inning. So you're doing something good when you hold the other team to no runs over the final 7 innings. Yeah. Well, the Yankees did not hit a home run today. Have you noticed the Yankees have not been hitting home runs? They still lead the majors, but their lead is getting smaller and smaller. And the Yankees did not hit a home run today, and their season total remains at 125. Now, for every home run the Yankees hit this year, your local Hyundai dealers donate $100 to the Hope and Heroes Foundation. The season total stands at $12,500. Well, here are the totals in this Yankee victory. For the Yanks, 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, they left 12. For Tampa Bay, 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, they left 11. David Robertson wins, he's 3-0. Mariano picked up his 24th save. And Alex Torres, who pitched the 9th inning, is the loser. He's 0-1. For the Yankees, they go to 56-37. And one note about that, it ties their high water mark of the year. They've never been 20 over. So tomorrow they have that opportunity to go to their high water mark of 20 over 500. Right now they're 56 and 37. Tampa Bay drops to 50 and 44. And I'll tell you why that's important. The Yankees and Red Sox have the two top records in the American League. The team with the third best record is Tampa Bay. So in the wild card race, the Yankees have now opened up a 7-game lead on the loss side. So that is very important. It doesn't matter how you reach the playoffs. The important thing is to reach the playoffs. The crowd, 22,471. The time of the game, 4 hours and 1 minute. And once again, the final score, the Yankees 5 and Tampa Bay 4. New York Yankees Baseball is a production of WCBS News Radio 880 and the New York Yankees. Studio operations by Tom Fenn. Tape editor Lynn Walsh. Technical operations Dan Ginsberg. Production assistant Rick Roush. Coordinating producer is David Mayernick. And the executive producer of Yankees Baseball is Tim Shell. Now stay tuned for Yankees postgame. We'll have highlights, scoreboard, and Susan Waldman's clubhouse report. It's all coming up next on